Welcome back, everybody, to the Vision Gaming Rocket League Invitational taking place as part of the VG Land 2025. I'm Hodge, once again, just like yesterday, joined alongside Liquipedia, and we are ready for playoffs Saturday here over at Vision Gaming. It's going to be a great day of action. 8 teams who fought through the group stage yesterday, who are looking to cement themselves as one of the top teams today, all going to be fighting for that title. But we've not got a lot of time, and we've got a bit of stuff to go through. So first of all, you might, if you maybe weren't here yesterday, wondering what's this yesterday that we're talking about. Well, let's have a look at the sort of group stages that we had yesterday and see who's making it out of each group. And Liquipedia, we had some high flyers yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, both groups had their ups and downs. You know, we had teams that went all the way through last night. They didn't drop a single game. The only team to do that was the host organization, Vision Gaming. They went 5-0 yesterday. And, I mean, we did have some unfortunate teams that weren't able to pick up a win of their own, that being FGS and Rusty eSports, who unfortunately had to forfeit their slot yesterday, which made Group 2 or Group B a little bit easier for some of those teams.
Yeah, now we've played our group stages. Each group left us with 4 teams from each of our respective groups, and that leaves us with 4 teams from each group, 8 teams in total. So let's have a look at Group A and see who made it through the Group A gauntlet. When you look at our teams, obviously the ones grayed out have unfortunately left us, and that leaves us with Vision Gaming, BS+COMPETITION, and Myth eSports and Dive eSports. So a lot of good competition here from Group A, and all 4 teams who can really make an impact. But let's expect we've also got another group to go over, and that is Group B.
Yeah, Group B has a lot of really high potential Rocket League teams. We saw Mindsanity yesterday play some absolutely brilliant Rocket League, and honestly all of these teams in Group B, they played brilliant Rocket League, with Simmer, Umi and Rusty eSport unfortunately not making the cut as we head into the playoffs. But this is going to be a very exciting day. I mean, we have so many teams that just showed pure Rocket League, right? Showed absolutely an incredible performance.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of those incredible performances. We had different teams. We had some standout players as well. And if you maybe didn't join us yesterday and want to know a little bit more about the standout players and the standout plays that were made yesterday, then we've prepared a little bit of a video for you highlighting some of the top moments we had. So before we jump into our playoffs, take a little look at some of the top 10 moments that happened yesterday.
They might maybe just have an opportunity of rolling with the own goal, actually, off of the backboard. Austrian Force, you take that, right? You had a good attempt, but Aroli, he's just going to slot it in for you, basically.
For both of these teams, it's about what do they have left in the tank. I mean, when you consider time zones right now, here in the UK, it's currently 10 o'clock. For these players, it's probably looking towards more like 11. So, you know, you're going to be... I think that's a perfect example of what happens when it starts to get late into the night, and you start to become a little bit tired.
For FGS to put up an attack of their own, not for much longer, as Juju will find maybe the double touch. There's a clip for him in this Invitational. What a way to kick off game number 2. I can see why Vision Gaming into the lead of the series, and well, 2-1 up, but not for much longer. 2 seconds left on the clock. Is it a little bit too late? Maybe. Konju has had to make a pretty important save, but me looks, he's gonna slot that in the back of the net. It's time to be one eventually, with how aggressive, how fast these teams are playing. It's got to happen. There we go, Matty.
Somehow Vision Gaming have got no shots and 1 goal, so that's certainly an interesting one. But now that's certainly a shot, and that's certainly a goal. Well, Game 4's only just calling, only just getting this series started. Zarak just trying to pass that infield to Alanis, but that's down the other side. That's open. That's Sano. Or if this squad of Predators have really got something to say about this. They've now found themselves in an open net, and that's one that they're going to be scoring every single time. A lovely touch there, sort of tiki-taka back and forth between both Rifers and Senyo.
Like that, keep putting up attacks. They're going to find themselves successful at some point, but will it be sooner rather than later? Because Dive Esports, they're on the end of it already, and Engine, the perfect response to that goal that FGS were able to score. Dive Esports, they don't want any hope for FGS. Johnson, not a lot of boost. Bayard just down to a half tank, and well, you might as well just write Myth Esports out. So Celt takes a constellation goal as well. VisionGaming will find themselves in the lead.
Celt just came down on that goal like some sort of meteor coming down from outer space. Yeah, I mean, I love to see round 5, final match of the day. We've got Nation the Dominus. You know, College don't necessarily see, but this is what it can do! Oh my word, Nation! What a goal to kickstart this game. That's what the Dominus brings to the table, and that's what Nation is showing in this match too. It's always good to see some of the top plays from some of our amazing players here in the VisionGaming Invitational. Some players really had some pop-off moments, and it was great to sort of get a chance to highlight those. But that's the group stage sort of dealt with, talked about, wrapped up, and obviously we've got our teams who are set to play today. But Liquipedia, we've got a nice single elimination playoff bracket in front of us today, and we've got some quarterfinal matchups ready to play.
Yeah, we have just an absolute brilliant bracket that we're going to take you through for the rest of the night. Having a little look at the bracket here, we see our top of group number A, or group 1, however you want to call it, VisionGaming. They will go on to face FB2, and I believe that might be the first match we watch. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but whatever match we watch, yeah, there we go, whatever it is, we're gonna just have a great match on our hands, as well as Dive Esports and AFW. They will be playing to get themselves against the either host organization or FB2 in that second match there over on the opposite side of the bracket. My Insanity, the team that we thought was going to do so well yesterday, who proved us right. They're going to go up against BS+, who they had a bit of a rough start yesterday, right? They had, I believe it was their first 2 games, they didn't win those, and then in the third time, they finally, third time's a charm, right? They won their game and they were able to secure themselves their spot in the playoff today. And then to round everything off, we have Myth Esports versus Zura Esports as well. So a very interesting playoff bracket indeed.
Indeed it is, and we're going to get a chance to talk about some of these matches, most notably the VisionGaming FlyBack eSports 2 match that we are going to have on our stream in a minute. But it's going to be, you know, a long day. We've got quarters, semis, and finals to cover today, and like we say, it all starts in these quarterfinals. It all starts with our first matchup on stream. So let's take a look at our first match here on the main stream. It's VisionGaming, like you said, the #1 team coming from Group A, made of Maki, Celt, and Naish, and they absolutely destroyed their way through their group, coming out 5-0. Absolutely incredible performance from the guys over at VisionGaming, and it's now going to be up to them to continue that performance here into those playoffs. But they're also against FlyBack eSports, a team who we haven't seen on stream at all. The only team to make it to the top 8 who we haven't seen, Liquipedia, and I'm interested to see what sort of performance they've got in store for us.
Yeah, certainly. Now, one thing that I want to bring you to is the fact that VisionGaming, right? Their best finish in their own invitationals is 5th and 6th. So if they're able to take the win here with FlyBack eSports, they will perform at their best. They will have their best performance in their own invitational. So this game, it has a lot on the line for VisionGaming, but it also has a lot on the line for FlyBack eSports. You know, they want to go forward, to have a chance at the crown, but they have a very strong team against that.
Yeah, absolutely. FlyBack eSports, the only team, like I mentioned, who we haven't seen on the stream, so it's a bit difficult to sort of gauge what sort of performance we might get here. But based on their performance yesterday, they were the number 4 team coming out of Group B. They had some sort of moments of brilliance, but did end up squeaking through at the end of it. And their reward is to play VisionGaming. So don't know how much of a reward it is, but we'll find out. And you know, if you want to sort of make a prediction, then we've got that prediction. Vote up in chat. So go and get your votes in, get your predictions in. Who do you want to, or who do you think will win this series and move on to the semi-finals? I think before we jump in, we better do it ourselves here, Liquipedia. So who have you got?
Oh my god! Oh, you know, it's gonna be really hard not to back the team that went 5-0 yesterday, right? Everyone, they may have a good day, they may have bad days, but if you're going 5-0, something tells me that you might just be like a step up. You might kind of be on a different playing field. So I have to host. Well, I have to back the
How many games?
VisionGaming.
How many games?
Oh, how many games? It could go a full sweep. It could. If VisionGaming, if they play like they did yesterday, I could definitely see a full sweep. A very quick first game to kick us off. I'm gonna go with it. A full sweep. I'm gonna go with a very big, just aggressive performance from them, which we saw yesterday. So it's hopefully gonna happen.
Well, I'm gonna go with a 4-1. I'm gonna give FlyBack eSports 2 a game, but I'm not sure. They're gonna have to prove us prove us that they deserve more than a game here when they play on the stream. But that's it from us. Now we've got to let the players do the talking on the field. So let's get them joined in, ready to go, and get this match started.
Yep, all the players, I believe that is them on the field now. They're getting ready to go. And I mean, yesterday we had brilliant Rocket League. We're going to see even more today. We narrow it down to the top 8 teams. And first off, VisionGaming versus FlyBack eSports 2 to kick us off with playoffs.
Kicking us off with playoffs, but who's going to kick us off with the first goal? I mean, already we're seeing some aerial offense from FlyBack eSports. But now they literally have had to fly back, zoom back to their own goal line as they scrap around to try and defend that counter-attack that was already slammed in their face by VisionGaming. And now it's all down to who can sort of get control of the early game here, who can really start off strong. Bumps coming through, Selt looking for the opportunity, but it's been taken away, sort of swept out of the face of VisionGaming, as already they had some good pressure, but FlyBack eSports dealing with it well.
Yeah, dealing with it well as they put a shot on the net there, tries to get another one from Real Malibu, but instead Selt will stand like a wall in the way. And now another opportunity may arise for VisionGaming as they find themselves in that blue half of the field. The pass over to Maki, it'll hit off of the crossbar. Selt can't quite find the finish, but can Maki with the fake. It's an absolute nightmare for VisionGaming at the moment. The nerves as we go into the playoffs day number 1. You can see the nerves there as the shots don't connect with the back of the net. But finally, after shots, Maki will score the first. And I mean, it was about time that ball went in.
Yeah, it took 3 shots, and it took losing a lot of brain cells watching that. But at the end of the day, VisionGaming are going to put that first goal away and get us kick-started here in game number 1. But now, what kind of response are we going to get from FlyBack eSports, if at all? They've been sort of slammed into a corner, really locked away so far, and we've seen chances a couple of times. We've seen them take control of the possession, but it just hasn't been convincing enough so far to where they've been able to really create any sort of meaningful opportunity. Every single time that this ball, you know, gets in the hands of someone, it feels like it's VisionGaming just, you know, having their way with it.
Yeah, the ball really has just been in the way of VisionGaming at the start of this game as Nash looks to keep that up. The pass over to Maki as well will keep the ball alive, but it's counter-attack and now an opportunity for FlyBack eSports to get one of their own. But immediately, as soon as that ball was in there, it was in the orange half even, they're not able to do much with it and they have to rotate back out and allow VisionGaming the time to essentially just start their own attack.
think so far for me, Vision Gaming has just been the quicker team, right? I mean, when you look at teams and how they match up against each other, a lot of the time it does come down to speed, come down to those rotations, come down to how well the players are really synced up with each other. I think for Vision Gaming, you know, aside from a couple of double commits that we saw yesterday, they've not really given me a reason to to say that they shouldn't win this, like, very realistically, very sort of easily, I think. And that just comes down to how in line all the players felt with each other yesterday and how they're sort of performing today as well. I mean, we're seeing FlyBack eSports get things under control, but as soon as Vision Gaming starts to really, you know, get a clamp on it, it feels like FlyBack just aren't able to respond, and they've still got 2 minutes left to do that, and it's good that they've managed to only keep Vision Gaming down to 1 goal right now. They've got to start dialing things up a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. The clock is ticking down, and yes, they do have a little bit of time, and it is only 1 goal, like you said, but there's not a lot of possession for this blue half. But now, maybe an opportunity might arise as Mystica will opt to fake the ceiling shot and instead take it to the ground. Won't find a goal out of that one for the time being, but the ball may still be in the hands of the blue immediately. So he's going to say no to that. He wants a shot on target, and yes, it is, but it's going to be swept away by Swiftly. And, well, now the midfield is where we need control. Real Malibu won't quite get there in time. Nation's going to just quickly and swiftly get that out of the way. But, I mean, we need to see something from FlyBack. Yes, they've kept Vision Gaming at bay. It is only 1 goal, and there is 1 minute left on the clock, so you just need to see them do something, and this might be their chance. There's a shot on net from Real Malibu. This snipe is going to allow its way in, and there's what I was looking for, Hodge.
Yeah, I mean, in the second half of this game, FlyBack eSports have done a brilliant job at creating some of this pressure in the Vision Gaming side, and, you know, we have mentioned that Vision Gaming have had to spend a lot of time, you know, clearing it away, but FlyBack eSports, they've done great to improve off of what felt like a destruction in the first half of the series when it came to field dominance, when it came to pressure. FlyBack eSports have responded well, and they've managed to pick up a goal. 40 seconds, who is going to take the lead, or we go into overtime?
Yeah, we could have a game 1 overtime in the playoffs. Well, I mean, only time is going to tell. There's 30 seconds left, and it looks like Vision Gaming may have an opportunity, but Nave can't quite get to the ball. We'll have to opt for Maki to make a touch, but he needs to rotate back out and get that boost tank all the way back up to challenge in this defense that he needs to be in. FlyBack, they're looking like they've got their mojo now. They've definitely got things a lot more composed, but time is ticking down. There's less than 10 seconds, and unless this ball stays high in the sky, both these teams are going to have to opt for golden goal territory. And it's just about time before it hits the ground. There we go, Hodge, we have overtime.
We do. Overtime calls here in the first match, and I think that's only a good thing, right? We want some close series today. We don't want sweeps. We don't want boring matches. We want high-octane series, and that might be a high-octane goal to go alongside it. Naish recreating what he managed to pull off yesterday. Last time in the Dominus, this time in that octane. But regardless, it's a game-winning play for Vision Gaming, and they certainly are locked in today.
Yeah, certainly locked in. Vision Gaming 2-1 in their first game of the playoffs, and it was extremely close, right? I mean, that could have gone either way. We get golden goal territory in the first game, so I think we're going to see a very close one. This is definitely one of the matches that we're expecting to be close, so it's living up to its name. It's living up to the hype and the potential, and definitely we can't count FlyBack eSports out yet because that was so close. They just need to work on their defense and work on staying a little bit more composed when there are attacks against them. But as we head into game number 2, are Vision Gaming going to keep up that momentum, or will FlyBack eSports respond?
By the way, we do have obviously a load of other quarterfinals happening as well at the same time as this. So right now, like we say, we do have, of course, this match here, Vision Gaming versus FlyBack eSports, but also a lot of our teams in the other matches are running their own team streams. So if you want to work out where to watch some of the other quarterfinals that are happening and then the semi-final when we get to it, then make sure to head on over into the chat and get that team stream command going, as we almost saw A nice opening goal there, but well defended to start off with by VisionGaming.
Yup, the defense is just absolute masterclass at the minute, and we saw a lot of that yesterday, right? So, this is going to be a very interesting game of Rocket League, definitely. We have our hands full today, Hodge, but we are still scoreless as a minute is almost taken off of the clock. And, well, this is a bit like ping pong. It's hot potato, both these teams. They're just passing the ball around, but it seems like FlyBack eSports are doing it a little bit better. Celt able to just come up with a save of a lifetime. Keeps VisionGaming alive for the time being. We're still scoreless somehow, and, well, FlyBack eSports, they're not going to let that phase them as they look to progress further down the field and have a second go.
Otherworldly save there coming through from VisionGaming as they keep those shots out that FlyBack eSports were starting to threaten, and now that threat might just accelerate once again. Mystica gonna try and control this one. Is he just gonna try and fake everyone? Regardless, being put to a stop, and VisionGaming, they're having none of it, but the attack is just gonna continue here. Celt's got a lot of work to do on this back wall, but it's been passed in field, and thankfully for VisionGaming there's no second man, so they are just gonna take that chance to slow it down, control the ball, but, well, it's only this squad of FlyBack eSports who have got the ball under their control, and they're looking to, once again, keep this ball contained in the VisionGaming half of the field.
Yeah, honestly, this ball should be in the back of the net by now, but VisionGaming, the defense has been absolutely beautiful from them, but they're still stuck in their own half of the field. They have to get it out eventually because that ball will work its way in, and maybe an opportunity for them to do something here. Instead, no, Maki will have to rotate back and get there quickly, which he does, and it allows Celt to progress further up the field, make the pass down to Naish, and, well, it's a shot on net, but it's not going to be in the back as Naish had to rotate out, get the 100 boost, couldn't quite find the shot there. Double commit from VisionGaming might allow FlyBack eSports and Sweffy to push on up, and it does as that ball is going to roll into the bottom left hand corner of the orange goal, and FlyBack eSports, they kick us off in round number 2 with their first goal.
Yeah, Sweffy sort of muscling up there to the VisionGaming defenders, so you know what, if you really want to fight for this goal, I'll fight you. And he managed to get his way past and get that first goal, but now VisionGaming gonna respond as quickly as that? No, it's gonna be kept away, and FlyBack eSports, a team that's shown us some pretty good defense across last game and this game so far, continuing to do just that. Mystica gonna launch that infield, and it's met by Naish in the skies. Celt's now gonna be the one to take over. Got past one, has a 1v1 with the third man, but gonna be put to a stop. Now Maki gonna be the one trying to continue VisionGaming's lockdown as they try to give FlyBack eSports a bit of a taste of their own medicine after this first half of the game. But they've been sort of put to a stop as well, and VisionGaming now forced back onto the defense.
Up VisionGaming, they're having a little bit of an attack of their own, and they need to make something quick, but quickly they need to make their way back to their net. Maki doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, but Real Malbu can't quite find this shot, and somehow we still stay at a 1-goal deficit, but Sweffy tries to make that in. He will, and, well, what should have been a goal almost instantly right there, it doesn't matter for FlyBack eSports as they're able to regroup, and Sweffy will quickly get that done, and it's a 2-0 lead for FlyBack at the minute, Hodge, and, well, VisionGaming, they've not really had any opportunities. They've had to play defense.
They've been forced into defense, but they've got to find a way to break free from that. FlyBack eSports showing their worth so far in this game number 2. They've got a great response off the back of that last game. But now, do they have a response to VisionGaming's offense? They do. It's called Mystica. It's called saving away some of those goals. And on the save department, FlyBack eSports, they've managed to find 6 saves this game. But this one, this drop down, this play from Maki to pass it over to Naish, that was unsavable.
Yeah, Maki looking for the double there, wasn't able to quite get it, but it doesn't matter. Naish was where he needed to be. He was positioned perfectly in front of that goal, and, well, it's a 1-goal deficit with 51 seconds left. VisionGaming, they're not out of this just yet, as Maki looks to put an early goal in, but Sweffy will swiftly get to that in no time as FlyBack eSports look to counter, they look to respond to that first goal from VisionGaming, but immediately Maki, a bit of a team play, they're going to get that over the midfield, and Celt having to opt for the block, but there's the long shot from Swiftly. Naish can't get back to it in time. Not a lot of boost in the tank to work with, and what could have been a good opportunity for an equalizer is turned into a nightmare for VisionGaming.
Swiftly, I mean, what a performance so far. Hat-trick hero for FlyBack eSports, and the player who's been all over the pitch, in the defense, in the offense, been a key piece of this puzzle that FlyBack eSports have needed to sort of figure out VisionGaming after that game 1. And he might just be what helps them get over the line, unless VisionGaming have got something to say about it. But possession not in their hands, bumps coming through. You have to think that this is it, and it is just going to be the case. Maybe a constellation goal, but no, hits the ground, put to a stop, and FlyBack eSports have got a response here.
FlyBack eSports with the response that they needed. We did not see the masterclass from VisionGaming that we thought we would have after the first game, but we did say this was going to be close, and we definitely got it. A lot more of a... The game was like more in control from FlyBack eSports this time. Yes, in game number 1, they looked very composed, and although they lost that golden goal in overtime, they look like a complete different team now with the just absolute team performance, the team plays, with the possession that they had. VisionGaming, they didn't really have a chance to get any goals on the board. So if they keep that up, they're going to hold VisionGaming at bay, and well, VisionGaming, they're going to stay in the 5th to 6th that they normally have placed in their own invitationals before.
Here we go. Game number 3 getting underway here on the Canyon. And now we get to see who's going to take the lead in this series. Is it going to be the #1 team who went perfect yesterday from Group A? Or is the underdog who and still very, very happily will throw a spanner in the works? Will they be able to shake things up and really prove why they, you know, should be rated as highly as this VisionGaming roster? Let's see. Already a bit of a high-flying start here for both teams, but still kept scoreless. And still, you know, 50s flying around the map here to see who can get control of over the early game.
In the early game, it's going to be absolutely crucial. If there's a goal scored here, well, it's the tone setter, really, for the rest of the match. You're going to be extremely confident, and while being in the lead, that's exactly what you need. And oh, real Nalbu almost with the shot of a lifetime. He's not able to make it in, and neither will Mystica, because Celt stands in his way like a wall. But what could have been a great opportunity for FlyBack eSports shortly fades away into the hands of VisionGaming as Celt opts to find the demo. He will, but Naish won't find the ball quick enough, and Mystica's at that almost instantly. The response time from him kept that ball out of their net, and even though they're doing a great work on defense now, they're still having a lot of pressure that they have to put up with. They're still having to play that defensive side, and with the lack of boost that Mystica has, and there's honestly not much that FlyBack can do.
Not really. Let's see if FlyBack can sort of keep this ball locked away in the VisionGaming side of the field, sort of mirror their Game 2 performance. And some glimmers that they had in Game 1 as well, actually. But this time it's Celt from the ceiling. Put to a stop by Mystica, but that's still got to be cleared away. And it is sort of touched out of there. But still, Mackie going to be continuing the play. Going to be looking for the dunk. But that's just sort of sniped out of his clutches. And so far, it's quite equal, I'd say, in terms of who's had the most pressure around the pitch. And Malibu's going to have to get that one under control before a VisionGaming player was able to cut in the rotation. But so far, pretty happy from what I'm seeing from both teams.
And no, insanely happy. I mean, both these teams, they're putting up like almost like an equal performance. It's kind of the same as what we saw in round number 1. And well, what could be an opportunity for FlyBack, but immediately fades into the hands of VisionGaming. And Mackie looks to make the pace over to Naish. He's not going to be able to do much with it. He has to get the 50 not for Mackie. Take the low shot. He's not able to get his car just onto the tip of the ball, and what could have been the first goal of the game is not going to happen. We still remain scoreless, and this ball still remains in this blue half. But for how much longer? As Mystica is there, and Maki has to opt to play that into the side where, you know, he's most safe at the minute as the ball hurls back in front of the orange net. And this is quite literally just a game of ping pong. This ball could go in either one of these nets, and we really don't know which one it's going to be first.
1 minute 30 seconds still left to decide, and potentially overtime if we're going to get there. But it's going to drop down. Maki winning that 50, able to win it out now, looking to pass it infield. Is Nation there? Yes, he is! 1-0 to Vision Gaming. And after all that pressure that built up, finally, Vision Gaming are rewarded, and they take the lead here in Game 3.
Oh, it was about time. It was about time that ball went in one of the nets, and it goes into the blue one. And, well, Vision Gaming, they've come back. They have the response from that round 2 that went so poorly for them. But FlyBack eSports, they still have plenty of time to work with. It's just whether or not they can equalise with that time that they have got left. Celt, plenty of boost, will have to opt to take it high, and Mystica will get a touch, but doesn't mean the ball is out of their half for the time being, because they're in the danger zone, especially when Naish is there. And there's the second goal for Vision Gaming. Comes from a beautiful play from Naish. Solo play, bumps Malibu out the way. Yeah, it's honestly incredible. It's an incredible display of mechanical skill. And, well, Vision Gaming, you're 2-0 up.
Incredible how he's managed to stay on that, keep with the play, and get Vision Gaming 2-0 up in this game number 3. FlyBack eSports. They maybe angered Vision Gaming a little bit. It's now bringing out the sidewall doubles. Still to no avail though. It might not matter. 2-goal lead, 45 seconds remaining. FlyBack eSports, they need something soon.
Yeah, they need a response, and they need it quickly, and this might be the time. Mystica, you're still on the end of it. You are, and there we go. There's the response that we needed. Hodge, Vision Gaming, a little bit of a double commit there. The mistakes coming out, Naish and Celt, they both went for the save, and, well, it's gonna work in the favor of FlyBack eSports as they bring us to a 1-goal deficit and 32 seconds left on the clock.
I feel like that is the sort of goal that they needed. That's the moment they needed to have, but can they double down on it? Can they buy themselves an overtime? That ball's infield, trying to win out on that 50 is Malibu, but going to be beat back over there by Maki. He's going to look to play out this 50. Still to no avail. Naish just has to get this under control. He's got the boost to try and stay with the play, and is he going to be able to? No, saved away, but it might not matter. Drop down from Celt. It's Mystica versus the world here, and the world might just be too powerful. And that is the case. Vision Gaming going to be walking away with game number 3 there. Got a little bit dicey towards the end, but they lock things down and hold on to that lead. And now, FlyBack eSports start to get tested a little bit here, Liquispec. What do they have in the tank? What do they have in response when Vision Gaming start to get online? We've got those, you know, couple of first games out of the way. The warm-up games are out of the way, done. And now we start to get towards, you know, teams stepping up, getting online, throwing everything at the game, and well, see, we're going to get to see who is going to come out on top.
Yeah, exactly that. That run there was literally just a repeat of ram number 1, except without the overtime. And, well, that game definitely could have gone to overtime, but it didn't. So Vision Gaming, you are ahead, but not ahead by much. You still have plenty of work to put in as we head into round number 4. Will FlyBack eSports, will they bring us an equal series, or will Vision Gaming be on match point? Well, maybe here's the start for FlyBack eSports. What could have been an incredible start to this game. It has quickly faded away, and Vision Gaming, they keep themselves alive for the time being.
Yeah, the placement was good, and unfortunately just didn't quite have the power needed, and understandable off the kickoff. You know, things can go a little bit awry, but that one might as well. Another shot, back wall, no one there for the follow-up because everyone's already committed. And they're going to have to go back to square one here for FlyBack eSports, but they've had a good amount of pressure to really start off this game. It might not matter if Vision Gaming can find a response, but FlyBack eSports have done such a great job to really set the pace for the early seconds here.
Yup, the pace of this game has definitely been set, and both these teams are playing fast, they're playing aggressive. In VisionGaming, they're looking to get aggressive in the back of this blue net. The pass down to Naish is going to be quickly swept away by Swiftly. Low on boost, he's going to have to opt for the 50, and Maki, well, he will get it done, but Real Malibu will be on the back of that ball. Shell opting to use the flip reset to his teammate Naish. Won't quite have the power and the placement that he hoped for, and he'll have to resort to rotating back and playing a little bit of defense as Naish looks to set up another opportunity for VisionGaming as the ball slowly will make its way down into the blue half, and Swiftly, not an awful lot of boost to work with, has to opt for the late challenge as the ball is sent high to the skies and into the hands of Real Malibu, and maybe to Swiftly's a shot on target, and the save can't come out in time from VisionGaming. And what absolute masterclass of a pass over to Swiftly. He knew where he had to be, he pre-jumped, and Naish wasn't able to get there in time, and what a response for FlyBack.
What a response. FlyBack looked to tie up this series, but will they be able to achieve it? Let's see. Still that 1-goal lead in the back pocket that they've just managed to obtain. But this team of VisionGaming going to be hunting for more. That was a great pass, but the shot not able to connect. On the other side of things, FlyBack might be able to get the second, but no, it's blocked out. A lovely save there. Great defense from VisionGaming. And on this halfway line, they're going to look to instantly pivot and turn it around, but blocked out. It's blow for blow, sort of boomer ball on both sides here in game 4. And it's just going to be about these minute touches, these minute moments, and who's going to get the better of each other. It's Maki, sends it low. FlyBack, they tried to sort of pre-jump it a little bit, but Maki was just able to roll it underneath.
Yeah, Mystica, he knew what he wanted to go for there, and well, it kind of had a 50-50 chance of working out. The ball was either going low or it was going right into his hands, and unfortunately, it went the opposite way that he wanted to, and what could have been a great kickoff for VisionGaming, it unfortunately has not happened as they're forced to try to go again at this blue net. Is Maki not an awful lot of boost in the tank, but will get the fake on one, and what has happened there, Swiftly? You should have had that, Maki. What an absolute masterclass. He jumps the fake, Mystica falls for it, and the flip over Swiftly, well, it leaves Real Malibu not able to respond in time. In VisionGaming, we thought that when FlyBack, they had their first goal, we thought it was going to be very hard for them to come back, and well, we've been proven wrong.
That was a little bit more of a difficult save than it looked like, to be fair. He was getting hassled around in defence as VisionGaming were looking for those bombs, but now they're going to be looking for a third goal. It's taken away, and they look to just continue this pressure, continue the possession, and maybe Celts found it, but no, that's a save by Mystica. Keeping that lead just at 1 for the time being, threatening, a little bit more danger, threatening match point situation. It's going to have to need a response. It's going to have to be Swiftly who finds the equalizer, flicks it over the top and says goodnight.
Yeah, he's actually just saying goodnight to Maki. I mean, Maki's not able to do anything there. He had to respond a little bit quicker to that, and unfortunately just was not fast enough as we head into an equal game where FlyBack eSport, they don't want VisionGaming on match point. They want to be able to take the lead of the series, and well, it's only about time until we see if VisionGaming will be on match point or if FlyBack, they will respond and bring us to an equal series. But for now, this ball is just flying into the midfield and over into that blue half as Mystica has to make the pinch over to Swiftly so that Swiftly can start a bit of an attack over to Mystica. Not an awful lot of boost to work with, and Real Malibu, he'll make no touch on that ball and leave Naish a free chance to pass over to Maki, who tries to get a second touch, and he will. It won't unfortunately make its way in the back of the net, but what will is this from Malibu, the masterclass from him there. FlyBack eSports 3-2, and well, we didn't expect that whatsoever.
I was going to say, you'd think we've got some sort of pit lane regulations here on the Coliseum with the way he just sort of just drove along the pitch. I mean, he didn't really have to do much. He played the fake, and just drove the ball home. I mean, if that's as easy as it is, then sign me up. I'll play against Vision Gaming, but no, realistically, FlyBack eSports, they've had a really good game number 4. It's now just going to be about locking it down, making sure that they're able to get it over the line now and not throw away the lead that they've been able to grant themselves. Ball going to be taken up to the skies by Celt and Mystica. That's going to drop down for him. Going to look to try and play this around Nation. Make things a little bit interesting here. It's sent over to the sidewall. Celt's going to have a free collection. Going to have a free touch, but is he going to go the whole way? No, it's taken away. Mystica holds the line for this FlyBack eSports roster, and 25 seconds is now all that stands in their way from a tied series.
Vision Gaming, you need to respond quickly, and well, you have to get out of your half of the field to do that. The ball has been sent flying high into the midfield, but Mystica will be there with a half tank of boost, and will have to opt to play a bit of defense as Nish looks to progress further down the field with not a lot of time left to this match. Maki's gonna have to do something, but he hasn't made the touch that he wants to and can't find the underneath of the ball to send it high, and FlyBack eSports take us to an equal series.
Yeah, FlyBack eSports going to answer Vision Gaming's call in game number 4, and I think FlyBack eSports, that was such a sort of well-informed game for me. It showed a lot of discipline from them to be able to come back from an early lead there for Vision Gaming. They sort of kick-started things, and FlyBack eSports had to play from a deficit. They did that so well, able to take their opportunities when it was granted to them, and they are going to be tying things up. But you know, we've got a tied series here. I have no idea how the other matches are going, but if you want to go and find out for yourself, then once again, make sure you are using that command in the chat, the team stream command in the chat, to go and get those team stream links for the other matches happening. Go and see how the other quarterfinals are going yourself. But this series, this game, 2-2, and here we go over to a bit of an interesting map, which I always love. I always love it, and I'm sad that we don't get to see it more in Rocket League competitive. But Urban Central getting loaded up for game number 5 here, and it's going to be about who's going to take the lead here and set themselves up.
I've got to agree with you. I think this map doesn't get enough love. Urban Central, it's an absolutely beautiful map. We've seen great plays in RLCS on this, and well, hopefully we're going to see some great plays from both of these teams as Vision Gaming, they look to kick us off with Nish taken to the skies. Not a boost to work with, so has to opt for Celt to try and clear that ball away. But Vision Gaming, they're going to kick us off strong as well. They're going to respond to the aggressiveness that we saw very briefly from Vision Gaming, as Celt has a lot of boost in the tank to work with, but will opt to play slow and get past one of those blue defenders, but unfortunately won't progress the ball further up the field, and has to opt to play a little bit of defense as demo after demo is coming out on the field. And FlyBack, here's a chance. The ball is off of the post, and well, it's not going to go in the back of the net for the time being.
Oh, that might go in the back of the net though. Maki, what a shot that is from downtown, sniping it. Well, it's a great start for Vision Gaming here in game number 5. A lovely play from Maki to get his team in the lead.
Yup, an absolute beautiful snipe that was taken out of the hands of FlyBack eSports, and Vision Gaming, they are now in the lead. Plenty of time still left on the clock, and well, FlyBack, you're going to need to respond, but this ball is in your half of the field. You need to get it out, because this orange team, they're going to capitalise, and that's exactly what we saw from Maki, and it's what we might see from him once more, but Real Mabu will be there to put an end to that attack as Nish has to opt to rotate back out after not being able to make a touch on that ball, and it allows FlyBack eSports their opportunity to shine as Mystica looks to make the pass to Swiftly, but he's not going to be where he needs him to be, but Celt will be, and that is unfortunately not in the back of that net, and well, it almost should have been, but it's going to roll its way out for the time being. In Vision Gaming, they can't further their leads yet, but it's getting pretty close.
FlyBack eSports going to be able to make sure this game doesn't get any worse than a 1-0 lead for the time being. Putting themselves in very much a comeback scenario where they could absolutely find a way back into this, but will Vision Gaming give them the opportunities? Nish Gonna look to run this down the wall. Doesn't have the boost, but it's gonna try and just get that past another player. Not to any avail. It's gonna be taken over there by Celt. Mackie off of that pass. Naish just sort of stalling things out. Realizes he's gonna get beaten. Has to back up. Celt's gonna take over. And that's going to be beat out there by FlyBack eSports. They're going to be looking for more. They're going to be looking for an equalizer. But Naish, he's found the gap. He's found the opening. He's found the second goal here for Vision Gaming.
Second goal, and it came at just an unfortunate, over-rotate and a bit of overconfidence from FlyBack eSports as they look to desperately equalise the game. Well, Vision Gaming, they're going to say no to that and take you to a 2-0 in round number 5, which... I mean, it looks very promising for Vision Gaming at the moment. They're not really giving FlyBack any opportunity to even get an attack into the orange half. But as soon as I say that, Real Malbu is going to send it over to Swiftly, who tries to send it into the back of the net. And unfortunately, Naish will stand in his way like a wall. And Maki will hopefully maybe find the gap. Yeah, there we go. Bottom left corner. Vision Gaming, they're able to once again put another goal on the board.
Absolutely are. And speaking of putting more goals on the board and getting towards a win, we have one team who's already managed to put a lot of goals on the board and get themselves a win. It is Myth Esports on the other side of our bracket, and they've swept Jura Esports to qualify themselves for the semi-finals. And now we've got the result of one of our quarterfinals. We're waiting for 3 more. And they will play the winner of My Insanity versus BS+COMPETITION. On the other side of things, we're in a bit of a dogfight right now between Vision Gaming and FlyBack eSports, and I wonder what the result of that's going to be. Right now, it's looking like Vision Gaming are going to go up 3-2 and put themselves on match point here. Put themselves on semi-final point, I guess you can say. As if they win this, they will move forward to face the winner of Austrian Force or Dive Esports, and Naish will get one step closer to having a shot to becoming the 3-time champion of a Vision Gaming Invitational. Won the last 2. First time alongside Eugen and Stade, and then the second time alongside Eugen and Charlie B. And now looking to do the 3rd time alongside Celt and Mackie. It's an interesting storyline, isn't it, Lecky Spec? And it's one I'm excited to continue telling for the rest of the day.
Definitely, Naish, defending champion, it's always going to be an interesting story, and what makes it even more interesting is the fact, like I've mentioned a couple of times, Vision Gaming, oh, wait, never mind, they almost were able to get another one, but they don't need any more. But yeah, what is a really interesting part to that story is Vision Gaming, like I've mentioned, their best finish in their own invitational has been 5th to 6th, so even if they don't take this all the way, even if Naish can't defend his title, well, it will be a good result for Vision Gaming. But as the time slowly ticks away, Vision Gaming, they've sealed their fate in round number 5, and they've sealed match points, and well, they've got to keep up the same level of performance that we have seen, and they'll seal themselves a slot in the next match.
They absolutely will. Vision Gaming up to match point here, and FlyBack eSports now going to be the ones chasing. Let's see how they're going to be able to approach this game number 6, and what adaptations FlyBack eSports are going to be able to make, because so far this game has gone very, I guess it's gone very scripted to some extent, but very off script as to, we didn't expect FlyBack eSports to, well, you didn't expect them to get a game at all, and I only expect them to get one. But if the storyline continues and the script continues, then we're getting a FlyBack eSports win. The wins have gone back and forth. So hopefully we're going to get a FlyBack eSports win and go to Game 7. I just want to see a close Game 7. But, Vision Gaming, that game really looked like they showed that they were in form, and they were just ready to destroy FlyBack eSports. So we'll see how that's going to unfold here in the next match. But Neo Tokyo is going to await us, and we're going to get to find a result one way or another.
Yup, well, Vision Gaming, they found themselves on match point, and FlyBack eSports, they find themselves in a crucial situation where they need to perform on Neo Tokyo wins. Well, if they don't, they will have to say goodbye to Vision Gaming Invitational, and they'll seal their fate a ticket home. But, well, Vision Gaming, you've not won just yet. You still have a very, very strong opponent of FlyBack eSports who don't want to leave. And well, just as I say that, Vision Gaming, they're not slowing down. Within the first 9 seconds, we see a goal already coming out from Nation Maki.
Wow.
Mystica, yeah, he wasn't able to do much. He made the one save, but it's a save that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it was a great pass down there from Naish to set up his teammate Maki, who sort of fired it into the defender, made the defender make a move, and then Naish was there for the follow-up. So they just essentially had no chance based on the positioning. Vision Gaming starting off strong here in Game 6, looking to close things out now, but what the FlyBack eSports have to say about it? Almost a ceiling shot, but not able to quite line it up and not able to quite knock it down.
Oh, well, Vision Gaming, you're holding on, but for how much longer? Well, you've got the chance to attack now, but immediately, maybe a counter-attack is Maki. Not a lot of boost to work with, will get past one, but Mystica's on the ends of it, and well, Mystica is going to take out Celt, as Celt will take out Malbu, and Maki will score in the top right corner. Vision Gaming, you have not slowed down from the first minute. There's 2 goals already in your favour, and but what we thought could be a Cinderella story for FlyBack eSports is slowly fading away as Vision Gaming, they opt to take this in 4-2, and I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful from them.
It is. Nation now going to try and continue that lead. It's going to be sort of taken away there by FlyBack eSports. They've sort of slowed down on their brilliance of defense from the early games, Game 1, Game 2 most notably, but this is the time where they've got to sort of bring that back, and it all starts with that save right there. Now they go on to the attack. Now Malbu's looking for an infield to a teammate, but there's no one there, and he's not able to connect the shot. As a sort of little bit of an update off stream as well, BS+COMPETITION were able to upset My Insanity and win in a 4-1 series. So they're moving on to the semi-finals to face off against Myth. We'll probably get to see that on stream next. And in terms of this game, well, let's see if we're going to get another game out of this match, because right now it's very much looking like the next series will be coming to you in the next 3 minutes.
I mean, unless FlyBack can do something, we will be going to a short break very soon, but I mean, they still have plenty of time to work with. 2 minutes 50 on the clock. They just need to get out of this rut that they are in, and well, what could be an opportunity for them now is swiftly beat Celt to the ball, but Maki is on the ends of it, and well, Nation not a lot of boost to work with. They'll have to opt to pick up the 100 and take the ball off of the backboard, and I mean, it's getting very dangerous in the front of that net there. Almost a first killer and almost happened there, but
oh god.
yeah, I mean,
first killer in this map. Someone will have a tragic throw. We don't want that.
Yeah, there might be a tragic throw from Vision Gaming if they perform a first killer on Neo Tokyo, but it's not happened yet, so let's pray for it. As Maki looks to take this ball further into that blue half of the field, but Real Malbu with the opportunity to make the block, followed by Swiftly, and it'll be Swiftly in the hands of Celt and in the hands of Vision Gaming.
About these midfield 50s, and Aisha's won out on it, and he's able to, still with the tanker boost, take it up into the sky. 50 got past one, looking to get past everyone, but it's going to be picked up, put to a stop. FlyBack eSports holding on for the time being, but how long? Maki so quick to that one, slams it home. 3-0 for Vision Gaming, looking to seal themselves a semi-finals spot. And 1 minute and 45 seconds is all that stands in their way.
Yep, only a minute 45, and well, it basically just looks like Vision Gaming, they booked their ticket to the next rounds, and FlyBack eSports, they have to do something. They're in such a rut, and they've not even had many opportunities at this orange net, and Vision Gaming, they've had so many. It's literally night and day between both these teams, but Mystica now, with the fake of a lifetime, Mystica will put one on the board for FlyBack eSports, and will start the redemption for them.
There we go. That's what you need. That's the starting goal. And you always need that, just to get a little bit of momentum, just to get something in the tank there. But now, it's going to be FlyBack eSports who've got to continue to double and triple down on that. And there's the second! Malbu forcing it through, firing it through. FlyBack eSports looking to get themselves straight back into the action. And wow, what a way to put yourself back in the game here in match 6.
Yep, they've put themselves back in the swing of things, and they haven't brought us an equal game yet, but they're doing an awful good job at getting there. Is VisionGaming, they've unfortunately just let it slip, and well, they need to further their lead, which Niche will do, and what we thought could be the redemption arc for FlyBack eSports, VisionGaming, Celt and Niche will say no. They will put their foot on the ground firmly, and a double tap from Niche will allow VisionGaming to further their lead, and it's a 2-goal deficit at match point.
If by now you haven't learned that giving Niche a free open backboard's not a good idea, then well, what are you doing? Where have you been? What planet have you been living on? And I think this FlyBack eSports roster is certainly finding out. Unfortunately for them, it's the hard way. But that's going to drop down, and they're going to need a miracle here. 45 seconds. What looked like a situation where we could be talking about a potential comeback. It's now looking like a red carpet walk out here for VisionGaming. A victory lap. But what do they have to say about it? Potentially another goal, but 30 seconds remaining, and FlyBack eSports need a miracle.
Yep, a miracle is needed as there's 20 seconds left. The goal has to be scored now, and well, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Instead, it might be a consolation as Niche just narrowly misses that, and Celtville as well, and well, FlyBack, you need to put this in now, and you need to do it extremely quickly, but this ball will roll up into their half of the field. Mackie will take his time, and well, swiftly, that's the wrong goal, but what is the goal for VisionGaming is the next round, and they have secured that with a 4-2 win here in Neo Tokyo.
4-2 win for VisionGaming. And there we go. Niche gets the chance to move one step closer to defending his 2-time title. And the rest of VisionGaming get the furthest they ever have in a Swiss tournament here in Rocket League. I believe that's what you said here. Well, at least in their own invitationals. And we're now going to get to see if they can continue to go further. But yeah, top 4 here for this roster. And what else do they have in store? That's what we're going to get to find out later. But yeah, moving on to the semi-finals are this squad of VisionGaming. And we will get to see some of those semi-finals in action very, very shortly. But I do believe we have a match to ready for us. That is going to be BS+ competition taking on Myth. So we'll go to a quick break, and when we come back, that will be our semi-final on stream. BS+ competition taking on Myth eSports. So we'll see you very soon. Welcome back, everybody, once again to our VisionGaming Rocket League Invitational number 5. We've made it to the semi-finals, and we find ourselves one stop away from our grand final, but we've got to send 2 teams there, and it all starts with this on-stream match here. BS+ competition have what some people would call an upset, managed to find an upset against My Insanity in their quarterfinal match, and also Myth eSports have dispatched their opponents in Jura eSports in their quarterfinal match as well. And on the other side of the bracket, Dive have taken down their opponents, and so have VisionGaming that we just watched on stream. So it's a little bit of an interesting bracket so far, Lecky Spec, but I don't know, what do you make of it?
Interesting's probably the best word for it, definitely. Gaming, we know that they're going to be a really strong team, and well, Dive eSports, we didn't expect to take the win 4-2 over Austrian Force, but the upset of the century coming from My Insanity and BS+. Well, after yesterday, BS+, remember, they were at the bottom of their group for a little bit. They just narrowly made today. They made day number 2, and well, upset the century as it's a 4-1 win to them. And I mean, it's absolutely crazy to see, but we're going to see them play against Myth eSports, who, I mean, they've just had a great run as well, a 4-0 versus Zura, and it's been a really interesting set of matches, and we're definitely in for a good game. But I mean, we have a fun fact for the stream, and that fun fact is that all of Group B, Hodge, everyone in Group B is gone, eliminated. Every team that stands before us now has come from Group A, and unfortunately, Group B, we've had to say goodbye to every single one of these teams.
Yeah, Group B, none of them are still here, like you say. Everyone's fallen, and my insanity, a team who a lot of people thought, could be making a grand finals run, could be making a semi-finals run. The sort of second place team from the Awaken League last year are fallen and are out of the competition. Some may call it, like yourself said, an upset of the century. This might be a hot take, but I actually don't think this is that big of an upset. I think BS+, I think they had a bit of a bad day yesterday, where they still made it, but I think they could have done a lot better in some of their matches, and they showed that in the series against My Insanity. I think it was maybe just a bit of one of their off days, and I think they're going to be back today, like they've already just shown against My Insanity. So Myth Esports is their next opponent, and we'll hopefully get that match underway as soon as we possibly can when everyone is joined in and ready to go. But yeah, I mean, we've already had a look at the bracket. We've already had a look at Group B, but let's just go over towards this Group A side of things and see where everyone stands in Group A.
Well, having a look at Group A, everyone is still here, right? But something that we do have to quickly have a look at is BS+. They've just gifted a few subs in the chat, so a big thank you for that. And, well, a big good luck in your next
We're now
match.
biased casters. Thank you.
Yeah, we're not biased at all, but yeah, thank you very much for that. And, well, now we're going to give you a big good luck in your next match versus Myth Esports. But having a look at Group A, we unfortunately said goodbye to Predators Esports and Far Gold Sharks after last night, but all of these 4 remaining teams are here to fight for that crown, fight for the final position that everyone wants. And well, we're going to kick it off with Myth Esports in BS+COMPETITION, who caused an upset of the century, and it's honestly going to be a great match to watch.
It really is. We're going to get to see this match unfold, and we're just going to zoom in on this match here on the broadcast. We've got our players lined up. The number 2 seed from Group A versus the number 4 seed from Group A. And both of these teams, like we say, because they're in the same group, have had a chance to play each other earlier on yesterday in the group stage. That time it went 3-0 towards Myth Esports, so they're going to be looking to repeat that with a 4-0 this time in the best of 7. But BS+, like I say, I think they had a bit of an off day yesterday. I think they've picked things back up and are looking in better form so far today. So I'd be interested to see if that can maybe be shaken up a little bit, if they can go on and make a grand finals run and then go on to challenge either VisionGaming or Dive Esports for that title. But it all starts with this series. It all starts with this game, and we are just waiting for, I believe, a couple more of our players, our final team in Myth Esports, to get themselves in the lobby so we can get this match underway. But I think we've talked a lot about our different teams and our sort of different storylines heading up into these semi-finals, but I want to take a sort of moment to highlight the other match that's not happening on stream as well. Remember, we've got Dive Esports going up against VisionGaming, and both of those teams have also showed a lot of promise so far. It's the number 1 seed in Group A versus the number 3 seed in Group A. That's also a match that's gone the way of VisionGaming. They won it 3-1, but Dive Esports have definitely proved that they can fight among the best.
Definitely, and whilst we're going to see a great game with BS+ and Myth Esports, if you do want to check out the other side of the bracket, we do have team streams that you can access via the Twitch chat, so feel free to switch on between this game that we're going to see and, well, an equally as exciting game on the other side of the bracket. But this is going to be very interesting, right? Myth Esports, I think, are expected to be victorious in this. However, with the massive upset that BS have just, given us, we have no idea what's going to happen on stream today. BS will be absolutely just crazy, or we will see what we saw yesterday when they didn't exactly play to the best that they could do. And, well, I think we're just a way to get into the match.
There we go. I'm muted. I was going to do it at some point, realistically. It always happens, and it took us until we got to the semi-finals, but there we go. Yeah, I mean, just to quickly touch on what we said earlier about team streams, the VG dive game will be unstreamed. We do not have team streams for that one, but we do have a grand finals after this where we will see one of them take place. But for now, for the time being, we've got this match, we've got BS+, we've got Myth Esports, we've got a best of 7 and one team who's going to qualify themselves to our grand finals. Straight after this, the all-women's team of BS+ competition take on Myth Esports, the number 2 seed coming from Group A, who bested them once, but they're going to be looking to bounce back.
Yeah, now this is going to be a really good game to watch, and well, this is going to be the tone setter for this semi-final. Who is going to be the first to score and who is going to be the first to get the first round out of the way? Well, BS competition, they're looking for an attack of their own, but Johnson, he is there to put on one. A shot to the side of the net, it's not going to make its way in, but will definitely put the fear into BS competition as they're forced to play a bit of defense off the bat, as Johnson will find the ball but will not find the goal off the end of that touch, and will have to opt to go again. Alana's the only United States player in this tournament. Will send the ball flying high into the orange half and allow BS to essentially get their first attack in this game as we reach the 1 minute mark that has just ticked away off the clock. BS are looking very aggressive. The pass to Slumpy might make its way in, but the touch is so soft it's essentially stopped the ball in its tracks.
BS+ some early pressure here, some good pressure, but now the bump's coming through. Now the goal's open. Sarak for the net. 1-0 already, and BS+ starting off strong.
Strong is the best way to go about it. Alanis, with the bump there, essentially sealed that goal for Sarak. It was wide open. Fierce couldn't do anything. He had to just sit there idly at the top of that net and watch that ball roll into the net. And well, BS+, they've come out swinging. Yes, they had to play a bit of defense at the start, but now it's time for them to shine as Sarak takes to the skies. Passes it over to Alanis, and Slumpy from nowhere will get the 50 mid-air, and Fears has had to opt for the 100 boost, but Sarak's already up and the ball's already in front of their net, and it's not going to work its way in as Johnson looking to put a bit of an attack on for Myth Esports as the ball flies in the midfield. But I mean, it's just already again in this orange half, and demos are coming out for the side of Myth Esports, and at the minute, it's not an awful lot that this orange half can do.
Johnson going to try and take over on the offense here, knock things up and try and set it up for a teammate. Not to any avail so far. Just floating around the midfield, waiting for someone to really take it into their own hands, take control, and look to guide this ball to victory for their team. Alanis stays composed on the defense, and she gets that ball cleared away. And now she's going to look to continue this breakout that BS+ have found so far today, taking down My Insanity, and now looking to take the first game off of Myth Esports in this best of 7. But Myth Esports, what do they have left? Have they got a response for us? Are they just going to sort of roll over and let BS+ walk away with the win, or are they going to go down fighting?
Well, with these boards, you're going to have to do something quick, and Biaz looks to be the one to do that as he tries to find the flip reset. Unfortunately, will not opt to use it, but Fears will opt for a shot at net, and Sarak keeps that out for the time being, but the ball is once again making its way towards the blue. Alanis has to do something quick, and she will, and that will keep it out, but for how long? Because this orange team of Myth Esports, they're not slowing down. Johnson with the pass over to Fears, plenty of boost to work with, but Sarak and Alanis, they will collide in front of the net, and whilst that will go unpunished, this net might not be for much longer as Johnson will slot that in against all odds. And well, BS competition, they started off strong, but with an equal game.
There he is, your MVP of yesterday, Liquipedia, getting himself on the board, making himself known, and that is going to be Johnson stepping up here for this Myth Esports side, leveling the scoreline. 1 minute 30 still left to play here, or are we going to overtime? It looks like so far this game it's been pretty up in the air. We've seen positives, we've seen highs, we've seen lows from both of our teams here. But who's going to find the next? Who's going to take the lead and be the next to step up for their team? Slumpy, she's going to try and throw this on the back wall. Let a teammate come in. Oh, this is that teammate! Top corner for BS Plus. And 1 minute still remains, but it might not matter as the lead has been taken.
Yup, the lead has been taken back again by BS Plus Competition, and well, they did not let that first goal from Myth Esports phase them whatsoever, but they're not out of the danger zone just yet, as there's still a minute on the clock. In Myth Esports, they're getting ready for their response as Johnson takes to the wall with not an awful lot of boost to work with. Serac is going to intervene, but won't be successful in carrying that towards an attack, as Alanis won't meet Bayaz in the middle, and Slumpy will meet Fears, but I mean, it's not going to work its way into that blue net, and Johnson is going to have to collect that in front of his own. But 30 seconds left on the clock, and Myth Esports need to do something quick, and well, they might have an opportunity now. Serac forced to make a little bit of a save and another touch as well, as Slumpy takes to the skies, but can't do much to keep this out of the blue half. Of Bayaz with the flip reset, Alanis with the save, and 15 seconds on the clock. It's looking comfortable for BS as they're making their own attack. They're making their name in game number 1. They're showing that they're here to progress to the grand final, and unless this ball stays up in the sky, they have secured round number 1.
Yeah, well, Myth are going to make a last-ditch effort of it. Will they be able to? Any avail still kept up. Johnson, is he going to have the boost to get to this? Yes, but it's going to just end up on the floor. And BS Plus Competition, they're taking game 1 here in this best of 7.
Yup, they're taking game number 1, and well, what a game that we just saw. I mean, I thought that Myth Esports, that they were going to come out swinging, and I think that was kind of what everyone else expected, but BS Plus, they've shown that they are here to play the game. They're here to get to the grand final and even win it all. And well, it was still a very close game nonetheless. It was 2-1, and we can't write Myth Esports off entirely, but BS Plus, they're putting up a very good performance.
Certainly are. Just hitting a quick server reset here, and we are just making sure everyone is okay and are ready to go before we get this game started. And a lovely first game from BS Plus Competition. Let's see if Myth Esports can find a bit of a response, because pretty much they need to. I mean, when you look at yesterday's performance, Myth Esports were just destroying BS Plus. I mean, I believe we didn't really have sort of many competitiveness in that game. It was just really a one-man show, a one-team show, and it was Myth Esports just running them over 3-0. So I wonder if this time is going to be different, or if it is just going to be. I mean, it already is different. I mean, if Myth Esports are going to sort of rekindle yesterday's form.
Yup, well, as we head into round number 2, BS Plus, they are in the lead of this series, but are they going to be in the lead for much longer, or will we have an equal game? Well, only time is going to tell, Hodge, and I know that I'm excited to see it. So, let's get this game underway. Game number 2 in this semi-final, and well, BS Plus, they've made a name for themselves so far.
Well, BS Plus, like you say, made a name for themselves. What can they do to continue that? So far, good start. It's not over. It's far from over. It's far from started, as this game number 1 is only the beginning of this best of 7. Slumpy, she's going to guide this along that side wall. Try and create an opening. Try and get that centered. Allow our teammates to come in and play a bit of a supporting caster all around that first shot, but so far, some good defense here by Myth. And they've just kept this away time and time again. Another attempt. That's beat back as well. Myth Esports, can they get on the end of this? They're getting good clears, but they need to get people chasing those clears downfield and maybe just trying to control that possession a bit more.
Yeah, they are getting good clears, but nothing is coming as a result of them. And well, Slumpy has opted to go for the demo heavy game, which will work in their favor if they can capitalize and if they can punish Myth Esports for allowing a player to be demoed. It won't result in a goal, but what it will result in is an opportunity for Myth Esports to get one on the board as Fears passes to the sidewall, will pass to Beyaz, and well, that's not on target, but certainly an impressive attempt of an attack as Slumpy looks to send it downfield, and well, Beyaz, he will be eliminated for the time being, but the ball is still in this blue half, and although he was gone, well, he's back now. He's able to play defense as he has to, as Alanis is there. 100 boost to his name, has to opt to get it over Serac, and he will. Fears is there to follow, will go down to Johnson, it will, as he takes to the wall to try and find one of his orange teammates, but nothing will result of this push that they have had. You know, they had a good opportunity, but they're just not able to create an opening to get past all of these BS players.
Well, Slumpy taken off the field. Fears now going to take it into his own hands. Tries to work this around the BS Plus defense, but the BS Plus defense, that's morphed, that's changed, that's altered. It's now the offense, and they've changed things around so quickly. As they look for the first goal, so does Myth, so does Johnson. An MVP performance yesterday from that man, and he's going to look to do it once again. With all-female roster here at BS Plus competition, they're going to look to have something to say about it. They're going to look to save it away and now turn the tides onto the offense once again. Look for those goals, look for those shots, the heavy aggression they displayed against My Insanity, and try and translate that into a Myth Esports, into a win against Myth Esports.
Yup, BS, they're just looking for an opening. They're looking to finally get out of playing defense, but Myth Esports, they're not slowing down. They want to finally create an opening of their own, and Beyaz looks to do it as he takes to the skies and will use his flip reset against Alanis, but Slumpy is sitting comfortable in net, but that doesn't mean that she can move away, as she has to rotate back because this pressure that Myth Esports are putting up, it's strong. There's a lot of it, and BS competition, they're having to put up a killer performance for defense right now as that ball will find its way into the hands of Fears and over into the hands of Johnson. Back to Fears. The ball's in front of the blue net. Alanis has to do something quick. She has to opt to play it slow, and somehow that keeps its way out of the blue net, but the pressure is still there. Johnson is as well. He's on the wrong side of it, and a minute 20 left. That ball should have made its way in the blue net, and somehow BS competition, they keep themselves alive for the time being.
Serac going to look to play that 50, but no boost. Going to get beaten out by Johnson there. He looks to continue pressure. A good pressure that Myth Esports have shown, but well defended by BS Plus. Slumpy, she's now going to pass that over to Alanis. It's been so crucial, especially yesterday in their match against Predators, that we managed to get to watch on stream. But now, it's been popped up by Serac. 45 seconds left in regulation. Or has someone got something to say about it? Or is OT going to be calling? Well, we'll get the answer to that very soon. Fears going to take control of this ball. Quickly challenged there by Serac. Really getting her hands dirty here in this sort of attacking side of the field. And looking to shut down any sort of possession that Myth Esports are looking to control.
Yup, well, Myth Esports, you're going to have to do something to keep up against this competition. Well, this BS Plus competition team, and, well, here's maybe your response as Beyaz takes to the skies, and it's over into the hands of Johnson, who's opted to rotate back out so he can regroup and pick up that 100 boost in the corner to hopefully give him a chance to score one final late touch. But we're into overtime, a scoreless game so far, Hodge, and well, this overtime, if it goes the same way that we have just seen in the last 5 minutes, this could take a while.
It could. Thea's going to be rolling this one up that sidewall, looking to try and dunk it on them, but it's going to be snatched out of his hands. BS Plus defense holds strong for the time being. On that back wall, Serac's taking things into her own hands, trying to rewrite what the overtime record has been for BS Plus so far. They matched up against this Myth Esports roster in the group stage. We saw one overtime, but it was a quick winner by Beyaz in the first minute. The fortunes did not favour BS Plus. Have things changed? Absolutely not. Johnson slams it home. And once again, before we get to a minute, the winner comes in overtime. And it's Myth who find a response in match 2.
Yeah, Lannis not able to get to that ball in time. And well, Myth Esports, they find themselves in an equal series in this semi-final. What looked like a masterclass from BS Plus has unfortunately, it's not gone their way in round number 2, but again, it's such a close scoreline, we can't write them off. That game honestly could have gone either way, and both teams had just a killer performance. I mean, Myth Esports definitely had more shots. They had, quick math, what was that? 12 shots. 12 shots on net for Myth Esports, and well, Rocket League does only say BS Plus had 2, but they definitely had more than that, definitely. Their presence was definitely felt by the opposing team, and well, we head into round number 3 at an equal series.
Here we go. Getting things started here on the Oasis. But who's going to walk away with the lead here in game number 3 to get things underway? So far, Fia's taken control of this ball off the kickoff, looking to force it through and carry that momentum from the last game forward into the kickoff of game 3. Been shut down so far, but that pressure's going to continue to cook up here.
Yeah, well, there's lots of demos already coming out for the side of Myth Esports, and well, BS Competition, you're gonna have to do something about that. Serac takes to the ball and takes to the skies, but so will Alanis and Slumpy, who has to do something. Serac has to make a touch, and she does. Not a lot of boost to work with, and well, the ball is still in this blue half as Johnson only has 30 boost to his name, but will opt for the flip reset to try and get over Serac. Slumpy will be there to help her out, and BS Competition, we saw a lot of aggressiveness from them in other rounds, but they weren't able to get out of their half until now.
Johnson going to be looking to take control of this ball from his back corner. Slumpy picking it up, looking to try and drop it down for a teammate. It's just a fake off of the play, looking for that second man. Alanis managed to find it. Try and guide this ball over towards Serac in that corner. BS Plus, they're looking to continue on a good note here on this offense. Serac taking control. Not a lot of boost, but it's going to be met by Johnson, who's turning things around here for Myth Esports. Over, looking to try and center it and set it up for a teammate. But Alanis has guided it away. Looking to try and make this ball find its destination. Not for either team to any avail so far. And it's gone a little bit off course as the shots that we've seen coming through from both of our teams. Yet to find the back of the net on either side. Alanis going to look to control this once again, but so far it's about this midfield game, and no one can quite get past the midfield.
No one can get past that midfield, and well, Myth Esports, they've had a lot of opportunities. It just hasn't resulted in much as Beaz looks to take to the sidewall, but Alanis will beat him to it, and she doesn't have boost to work with, so she's going to have to leave that ball in the hands of Fears and Myth Esports as they're back once again in this blue half. Serac tries to boom that ball away, and well, she won't get it far. Alanis will try and get it into the orange half, but I mean, BS Competition, they have not been able to do much apart from play defense, and somehow we're still at a scoreless game with so much pressure on this blue net. Fears looks to sink it in, and he will. There's that goal that finally goes in, and Myth Esports, they look to take the lead of the game and maybe the series.
Number 2 seed from Group A is showing their worth here in this match. And they find themselves in the lead against BS Plus Competition in game number 3. And Fia's standout player for this squad yesterday managed to find himself on 406 points per game average across the series against BS Plus Competition. And that's what helped lead them to a 3-0 victory. On the other side of things, BS Plus were sort of nowhere near those standout performances, and while they have showed that today, they've got to continue to better their performances from yesterday, continue to improve and evolve here in this day of action. As when you're playing against a team like Myth Esports, who are unforgiving, they will continue to pressure, continue to challenge, and continue to cause a ruckus. You've got to be at your best game. And so far, while they did manage to take game number 1, games 2 and 3 have looked a little bit less convincing.
Yeah, definitely. BS Competition, we saw them at the start and they look promising, and now, well, we're definitely seeing aspects of the team that we saw in game number 1, but we haven't really seen much from them. We have not seen that same level of performance, but hopefully now is a chance for Slumpy to maybe put this on target. She does, but Johnson is there, and well, a bump from Serak into Slumpy will allow the orange team of Myth Esports to get a shot on target. Alanis makes the save, and Johnson will be able to sink it in the back of that net regardless. And well, what instantly, you know, that came off of a mistake from BS+, right? They bumped into each other, and it happens to the best of us, but it's allowed Myth Esports to get another one and further their lead in this game.
1 minute still to go. Still time here for BS+. We've seen crazy comebacks already this tournament, but they're not going to happen when players like Fears is in the sky and just tormenting BS+ competition. A lovely setup there from Johnson, and Fears already up in the skies, flying like an eagle and ready to send that ball into the back of the net and put a 3-0 goal lead up towards this side of Myth Esports. But there we go, there's the response, and there's Sarak shortening that lead.
Yeah, nice kickoff for BS+. We'll keep them alive, but they still need 2 goals to even equalise to bring us to overtime. So time is not in their favour, but doesn't mean that it can't be, as a good kickoff again will most certainly put them in the right way. But Slumpy has to opt to take it around Johnson. Will not be able to score this time around, but Serak looking to find Alanis. Alanis looking to find the goal, but Johnson looking for the save, and he finds it, and he finds the counter-attack as that ball doesn't make its way on target, but most certainly makes its way into the blue half of the field as Beyaz takes to the sidewall. Plenty of boost to work with, but Serak will meet him there as we hit the 20-second mark, and BS Competition, they're going to have to do something fast, and it has to be now. Alanis looking to find that orange net, but will fall into the hands of Beyaz, who unfortunately can't get around the ball in the right way, but it doesn't matter, it's not being punished from BS Competition, and what could have been a promising return and a promising story for BS Competition to get the lead of this series and, well, have a comeback. It's not going to happen.
It's not. Myth Esports take game number 3. Put BS+ competition on the back foot. But now, what have they got to cook up? What have they got in response? And I tell you what they do have. They do have a coach with a lot of history in not just the women's scene, but also the Rocket League scene in general. Karma, coach of BS+ competition. I wonder what she's saying to the team right now to try and get them hyped up, ready to go for the rest of this series, because I think they need some sort of momentum behind them. They need some sort of, you know, fire lit underneath them to try and boost their performance after that game, because they showed signs. They showed some pretty good signs, especially in defense. They had some great defense in BS+ competition, but you know, when the shots did sort of come firing down towards the Myth Esports net, not a lot of them looked, you know, especially dangerous. So I wonder if that's something that they're going to be looking to sort of shake up here as they move into game number 4.
Yeah, BS Competition, have a word with the coach and just kind of see what you can improve on as we head into Utopia Coliseum for this round, where BS Competition, you have a lot of work to do. You just need to assess what went wrong really quickly and try figure it out. See what you can do to fight off this really aggressive team of Myth Esports as we head into our next round, where Myth Esports, they find themselves up in the series.
They do. Double demo coming through from BS+ to try and gain an early sort of presence on the pitch, but that presence was taken down by a couple of whiffs, a couple of misses, a couple of a little bit of tomfoolery happening, but it managed to stabilize things and what could have got a little bit more ugly. And now Sarak's going to try and kickstart this play. Fears, though, taking over, looking to play off of that reset. Alanis has to read that perfectly, and she's able to. But that's now giving Slumpy an opportunity to kickstart this from the corner over to Alanis, who is there, but so is the defense of Myth Esports, and they guide it away.
The ball has been guided away, but it's guided into that net right there, the orange net. BS Competition, Slumpy with the snipe, and well, there's the first goal of this game. It goes to BS Competition, it goes in the hand of Slumpy, and not even a minute has been ticked off of this clock.
Early goal here for BS Plus. What can they do to build on that? What can they do to sort of continue to show their worth here in this game against Myth eSports, a powerhouse in their own right? As the number 4 seed from Group A looks to continue their upset power, their upset reign of the day. First My Insanity, the number 1 seed from Group B, and now looking to take over and fight back against the number 2 seed in Myth. But Fears, he's got a reset. He's looking to go low, but he's blocked by Sarak, who's got things under control there. Bayaz on this back wall. Johnson helping out as well to try and disrupt some of the defense on BS Plus Competition side of things. But it feels like it's just setup after setup here. And this Myth eSports squad are getting so much space to work with.
Yeah, definitely. They have so much space at the minute. It's only about time they capitalise as Fears is up, but so is Slumpy, and Bayaz is forced to play that third man position now into first pass from Fears. It's going to be intercepted by Alanis, who looks to take to the sky with this ball, and well, Fears is not going to get there in time. Sarak is there, and so is Slumpy. The ball is edging its way so close in front of this net. It's just not going in for the side of BS Competition, and they're forced to play defense once again. They're forced to now put on an attack of their own, but it's going to be swiftly and promptly dealt with by Bayaz, and Fears is there. He'll slot it past Sarak, and there's the response from Myth eSports.
There we go, Myth eSports back in the action. Bayaz getting that demo, setting up the lane, and Fears was there once again, who's been such a striker for this Myth eSports team. He's been always on the end of every single ball and ready to hammer it home for his squad. Slumpy, she's going to go up into the sky, look to try and play this 50. That's out to the sidewall. Alanis looking to get the touch, looking to fire that one home, but it's picked up, shepherded out the way there by Myth eSports as they look to once again play off of these counter-attacks, look to disrupt the defense, and Bayaz has slotted it home. 2-1, Myth eSports taking the lead here once again.
Yep, the lead is back firmly in the hands of Myth eSports with a nice shot from Bayaz, and well, there's 2 minutes 30 left. So, can BS Competition, can they equalise? Well, they've definitely had the chances to get goals on the board. It's just they haven't quite arose to the occasion when presented with it, as Fears looks to get a couple of demos out alongside Johnson, which will take 2 of those blue players off of the field. But as swiftly as they're off the field, they're back, and they're back on attack as Slumpy takes to the skies and looks to get a second touch on this ball, but Fears will be intercepting that, and BS Competition, they're having a bit of a rough patch when it comes to their attacks. None of them are resulting in much, and demos are just galore at the minute. So many demos on the field.
Yes, plus we've got to use these demos to take some space here, because when Myth eSports get the midfield, when they get the space, they absolutely use it to full advantage, to full effect. Sarak now popping this downfield, setting up for Slumpy, who's going to continue to guide this over, but it's fired back, it's boomed downfield once again. And this time it's by Myth eSports, who look to put them in a pinch. Slumpy has to react quickly, but she's got that one sort of sent away there and out of the half of BS Plus Competition. For how long? Bayaz looking to try and slow the play down, allow Johnson to come in. And now get that over to Sarak. He's managed to receive that well on the back wall. BS Plus just trying to get this cleared away. It feels like that is sort of the story of this series, trying to get this out of their half. But Myth eSports, they've been so good at putting on the pressure, so good at getting their lines cleared, and now a minute away from match point.
Yeah, a minute away, and well, the ball is itching closer to this blue net once again as Johnson has to get it over Alanis. He will, but Slumpy will be there to send it further into the orange half. Another bump coming up from BS Competition will put a little bit of a stop to the red attack for the time being. Sarak not able to do much, but Fears will be able to get over Alanis, not over Slumpy, but the ball is there for Bayaz, but Alanis is there to receive that save, and it keeps BS Competition alive, but they still need to put 1 goal on the board as Bayaz looks to put another for Myth eSports. He won't find it, but I mean, 20 seconds left. All that Myth Esports have to do is play aggressive and hope for another goal and just, you know, keep the defense up as well. You don't want BS Competition scoring a late one, and, well, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Alanis has to do something quickly, but there's no boost on the field for BS Competition. There's nothing that they can do, and the ball's going to eventually hit the ground, and, well, Myth Esports find themselves on match points.
Myth Esports match point, like you say, it's now going to require one hell of an effort now from BS+ Competition if they want to try and get themselves back into the action, get themselves a redemption arc here, because it feels like everything is sort of, I guess, just not going their way. BS+ Competition, they need something, they need anything, and They need to send this back to Game 7, but they're a long way away from a potential Game 7. They've got a couple more games to worry about before that, and they've still got to get past Myth Esports, who hindered them in the group stage, and so far is proving a difficult challenge for them in this match as well.
Yeah, although what I will add is that it's only 2-1, right? That scoreline was only 2-1, and it could have went either way, but Myth Esports, they were just better in every aspect. Yes, the scoreline was very close, but Myth Esports didn't really give BS Competition any opportunity to attack. So, as we head to Urban Central, are we going to see the same thing from them, or will BS Competition be able to claw their way back and stop Myth Esports from advancing to that grand final spot?
We'll see how that's going to go. But right now, just waiting. I believe a timeout has not been called, if I am correct. So we are just waiting for the players to be ready, everyone to be ready to go. Confirmation from production, no timeout called. So if we want to get these players in and ready, then that would be very good. As the players joining the pitch, we're going to get Game 5 underway. Are things done now, or are we going one more? Neo Tokyo on the horizon, but are we going to get there, or is Urban Central the final destination for BS+ Competition in the Vision Gaming Invitational?
Oh, could we see Urban Central be the last? Well, only time will tell. Hodges, Myth Esports, they kick us off to what looks like a promising start for them on match point, as they're in this blue half, and Fear's looking to send that down to Bayaz and into the hands of Slumpy, but Johnson's just picked up the 100 boost. He has plenty to work with. He has a shot, and Serac and Alanis will collide, but they'll get the job done and save that goal nonetheless. So the ball eventually makes its way into the orange half. Johnson with a miss, and well, Serac! Oh, with the redirect of a lifetime. The pass, oh my goodness, the self-pass from the wall. What an absolute masterclass to kick us off on Urban Central.
Straight out of nowhere, straight out of anywhere, who knows, but Serac able to make it happen. The saviour potentially for BS+ Competition, and the goal that's going to help by this team. A game number 6, but we saw them get the lead early on in game number 4, excuse me, and still Myth Esports were able to come back. Let's see if they are going to be able to do that once again. Looks like they're starting to cook up with this pressure again, but so far, that goal that has been bought by BS+ Competition that's earned them this lead. Let's see if they're able to hold it.
Yeah, they just need to hold on, but are they going to be able to? Myth Esports looking to put up an attack of their own, all thanks to Bayaz, and with Alanis not able to do anything as well. She was being absolutely chased down there in the goal. Bayaz will equalise, all thanks to Johnson as well, and what was a very promising start with a beautiful redirect from Serac is turned into an equalised game, with Myth Esports wanting to close this out as soon as possible.
Well, here we go. Like you say, that equaliser's come through. Now the script so far says that this should then go the way of Myth Esports, but BS+ Competition, they want to say otherwise. They want to send in Alanis with a reset, but no boost to work with, so going to be stolen off of the play, and now Bayaz, Johnson trying to work the rest of the field, trying to find a second goal here for Myth Esports. That's also been kept out, and BS+ hold on the defense.
Yep, Slumpy looking to put up an attack of her own, but Fierce will be in the way to send that ball sky high into the hands of Johnson and Bayaz, who looks to take it over to the side wall, but will be met by Alanis with a good bit of boost to work with. But unfortunately now she has to rotate off of the play and leave it into the hands of our only goal scorer for BS competition, Serac, who looks to put another one on the board, and Alanis with a block has to opt to leave that play for the time being, as Fears will bump Slumpy out the way. Bayaz will also carry that ball further down into the hands of Johnson, who looks to put it into the blue net. The pass to Fears. Slumpy doesn't know what to do. She had to make a save, and she does, but Bayaz is still up. Serac is up as well. The save comes out, and BS competition, they're not out of it yet, but they're not out of the danger zone. Bayaz with a shot. It's not going to go in. Alanis with the save, and this ball, honestly, should not still be in this blue half.
It feels like BS Plus competition are holding on for their tournament lives, and now looking to switch things opposite side of the field. Alanis tries to dunk it down. Sarek also getting herself involved, but to no avail. BS Plus competition, they've managed to sort of steer the sinking ship out of the way for now, but how long is it going to take? Alanis trying to fire another shot towards that goal, but that's also picked up. The defense on both sides, impeccable, but someone's got to break, something's got to give, and who's it going to be? It's Johnson, who takes the lead for Myth Esports, and now they find themselves 1 minute and 45 seconds away from a grand finals and securing some prize money as well.
Oh my, whoa, what a goal that we just saw, and what a game this is making itself up to be. A good kickoff here would be great for BS Plus, but as soon as they had the chance, Fears will take that ball over into the hands of Johnson, and well, a minute 30 left on the clock. We can't write BS Plus out yet, as they're putting up a stellar of a performance. They just need to equalise. They just need to bring us to overtime, or better yet, take lead of this game before that ball hits the grounds. And well, that's exactly what they're trying to do, but it's immediately stopped by this orange half of Myth Esports, and Fears not a lot of boost to work with, has to opt to play it low, and that's exactly what he does. Is Bayaz takes to the sidewall, 100 boost to his name, and well, he has to opt for Johnson, get it past Alanis, and he can't quite do that. The ball still in this orange half, it's still in the hands of BS Plus, who they don't want to leave just yet. They still have fight and fire in them, but they're having to play defense now.
45 seconds still left to go here in this match, and still time for BS Plus competition to make something of this game number 5. What will they be able to do? Touch back over to the corner. Fia's still got control of it. Myth, they're just going to be looking to stall out this clock, run down the timer, continue to hold the possession, but Slumpy's got other ideas. She's thrown it on the back wall, and now Sarak's jumping for it. Fia's got on the end of it first, and now looking to go the whole way. Alanis in a difficult spot, but had the boost, thankfully, to deal with it. 15 seconds still remaining, and Sarak, you're looking to hold on to this one. Alanis taking over, looking for some last second magic, dropping it down, but there's no one there. Sophia's and Johnson, they've got time to work with, they've got space to play with, and for BS Plus, they've got no time at all. As the clock's on Urban Central, they reach 0, they reach the end, and BS Plus competition, their road ends in the semi-finals, and they are eliminated. Meanwhile, Myth Esports, they go to the grand finals here in this semi-final. They go all the way, and will either be playing against VisionGaming or Dive Esports.
Yeah, well, what a stellar run and performance from BS competition, who, yes, gave us the upset with them taking down My Insanity, but unfortunately they're not able to go all the way, and well, they find themselves going home, and they put up a great performance, but they weren't able to close it out, and ultimately that's just all it comes down to, right? So ultimately, yeah, it was crazy, right? It was honestly such a good game to watch, and I mean, we could be in for anything in this grand final.
We really could. Well, Myth Esports, it was a really good showing from them. I mean, when we sort of break down that game, Myth Esports was sort of a side who I think has sort of gone as a bit of a dark horse for a lot of the games, and they are able this time to sort of find a way to get it over the edge, and now I guess going into this grand final, depending on who comes out on top, will sort of dictate if they are an overdog or an underdog. I think if Dive was able to come out on top, then they would be the overdogs. But otherwise, if Vision Gaming go into the grand final, no matter who they face, they will be the overdogs against Myth Esports. So when we come back, we're going to have the next game loaded up. It might be, us joining in with the other semi-final. It might be the grand final. Stay tuned and we'll find out. But for the time being, we'll see you very soon. Welcome everybody back to the Vision Gaming Invitational for the final time here of this 5th Invitational. It is our grand finals. We are ready to go. We have two teams who have battled to get here and are very much deserving of this win. It is, of course, Vision Gaming taking on Myth Esports. The final match of yesterday, it felt like it was going to be a grand final. It felt like it deserved to be a grand final. And let's be honest, Liquipedia, we knew it was going to be the grand final yesterday when we were watching that match. It was inevitable. That or my insanity and Vision Gaming. I mean, it sort of is the clear-cut 1 and 2 team in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly kind of what we were going to assume that we were going to see today. And we were graced with it yesterday where we saw Vision Gaming take the win on that one. But it could be a different story for Myth Esports tonight as they have a chance at redemption against Vision Gaming. But let's take a quick look at the bracket to see how we got here, because it's definitely been a series. It's been a great playoff so far, and well, it's definitely had its moments.
Yeah, it really has. It definitely has had its moments to say the least. I mean, depending on which side you look at, there's sort of various different storylines, but we haven't seen a Game 7 yet. I wonder if this is the time we get one, or if we're going to go Game 7-less today across the playoffs. We've seen a couple of different Game 6s, obviously a sweep that Myth performed against Shira earlier, and then a couple of different Game 5s dotted across the bracket. But I think we expected Vision Gaming and Myth to get here with relative ease to this point, and we expected this sort of heavyweight showdown in the grand finals between our two best. Obviously, we saw these two different teams match up in the group stage yesterday, and it was a 3-1 victory for Vision Gaming. So Myth going to be looking to rewrite the wrongs of that series in this one. Obviously, this is different. This is a grand final. This is a best of 7. And we've just seen on stream Myth dismantle BS+COMPETITION. Off stream, Vision Gaming took over Dive eSports in a 4-1 as well. So both of these teams coming in with some great momentum, and it's going to be all about showing up on the day in the game. I wonder if we can sort of zoom in on this matchup here a little bit with Vision Gaming and Myth and get both of our two teams lined up. But yeah, Liquipedia, Myth Esports, Group A, Seed 2, Vision Gaming, Group A, Seed 1.
Seeds of Group A find themselves in the grand final, and well, it's definitely a story that you couldn't have wrote better. Vision Gaming with Maki Silt and Naish. Naish looks to keep his title and win for a 3rd time in a row, but the challengers of Myth Esports, Fears, Bayaz and Johnson, well, Johnson I gave the MVP to last night, and well, I think if there's any team that's gonna take down Vision Gaming, it's gonna be Myth Esports.
Yeah, I think that it's certainly been proven that way, and no one so far has been able to take down Vision Gaming. Like you highlighted, they're currently performing the best they ever have in their own invitational with a new roster of Selt, Maki and Naish. Naish, obviously, we've highlighted it so many times, looking to become the 3-time in a row champion of the Vision Gaming Rocket League Invitational with a new roster every time, and this time looking to do it with a roster that we've seen previously in a load of Swiss tournaments. Vision Gaming, they played with 2/3 of this roster in the Awaken League last year, and they were able to get 3rd place. I believe 4th place in the end. 3rd or 4th. They played in a 3rd place match, and can't believe they almost got reverse swept by Ira Legacy, but I think they, from memory, were able to get it together in the end. So Vision Gaming, they've had some good performances in Swiss tournaments before, but yet to sort of come out on top and be the champions. So let's see if they're going to be able to do so, or if Myth Esports are going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works here and show why they were having some MVP performances yesterday. But, you know, if we were able to sort of look at that match, sort of zoom in screen and pick out one player from each team there, I'll give you the difficult task of doing it, Liquipedia. Who would you have from each team here?
Oh, who would I have? It's honestly, it's so difficult. I mean, I don't know if I can put any name to it. I don't think I can, because all these players are absolutely brilliant. I think they all can do what's needed of them when it is needed. So I think both of these teams, they definitely have star players at some points, but everyone is a star player on this team. That's why they've made it this far.
Yeah, everyone is. We've seen crazy performances from both, and you know what, I'm going to go and highlight some top players from each team. Obviously, we've seen Naish, who's been having MVP performances in every single individual match here. Probably has, I don't know the actual stats of it, but probably has the highest points per game out of any player in the tournament so far. And then when you look towards Myth Esports, we've got players who, you know, like for example, Johnson, Fears, the sort of duo link-up between those two that we saw in that series against BS+COMPETITION was unparalleled, was like no other. And I can't wait to see it all, you know, unfold on the pitch as we get things started. But we're almost ready to go. We're almost ready to kick this game off and get these players joined in. But finals prediction, Liquipedia, who have you got?
I've got VisionGaming. I think Naish will be the third time champion, and I think that although Myth Esports, they have a chance to right the wrongs from yesterday, they won't be successful in doing so. VisionGaming, they have been on a roll, and well, it's time to find out who is going to be victorious in this grand final, as we are kicking off the grand final, Myth Esports versus VisionGaming.
Myth Esports, VisionGaming, two teams who've set their own storylines throughout so far this tournament, and coming into this game looks so even. One of them dispatched their opponents in the series in the group stage, but so far that's not the storyline we're talking about, and it's Myth Esports who grabbed the first.
Myth Esports will grab the first thanks to Bayaz and Johnson, and that will kick us off 9 seconds into this grand final, where VisionGaming, they need to find a response. Celt gets a really good kickoff with demos coming out on both sides, but nothing will come of it as of yet. Instead, Maki takes to the skies, will get another touch on that ball, and Celt, well, has pre-jumped but has not found the ball.
Well, in terms of predictions, you know, I think everyone is sort of very favoured here to predict VisionGaming in sort of any matchup, but especially this one, especially one that they managed to win yesterday. I'm going to also go with a VisionGaming prediction. I think we're going Game 7 here. I think it's going to be played quite close by Myth. They seem to have leveled up from yesterday as well. But we'll see how both teams have fared so far today and who's got what left in the tank to show us. Bayaz going from the ceiling, looking to drop that down. Fears there on the reception of it. It's just going to touch that into open space, but that open space gets populated very quickly as everyone scrambles to get control of this ball early on. And so far, we've seen that lead go and shift over to the Myth Esports side, but some brilliant defense has been on display from VisionGaming to make sure that only stays at a 1-0 score. And they're going to be looking for a counter-attack here.
Yup, most certainly. Well, VisionGaming is their time to shine. Maki looking to find Naish, and he will, but the ball will not make its way into a position where they can result a goal from it. But Naish looks to try again. No boost in the tank, will have to rotate out, and Celt trying to find a touch. Unfortunately, won't be able to make one, but Maki will off to the side wall, and the ball makes its way flying high in the midfield. Bayaz and Johnson, a bit of a double commit there, but I mean, it is still in this orange half, so they can rotate out and have another shot at this goal. That's exactly what Bayaz is trying to do. He won't exactly find Naish, but Johnson will find the ball and will have to find himself back in defence.
Midfield skirmishes here. Everyone wants to start off on the best foot forward here in the grand final. Who's going to be able to do it? Naish playing that 50 along the side wall. Maki going to try and come in and pop this up, allow Celt to come and join in on the action here in the corner. So far, Myth Esports have had quite a convincing lead lockdown, but if the last series didn't show you that the first game isn't everything, then I don't know what did. Obviously, BS+, they had quite a dominant performance in that semi-final in our first game, but then it was snatched out of their hands, and it was a gentleman's sweep from Myth eSports from there. They won the next 4. So far, nothing really being shown by VisionGaming. The hands have been sort of locked away. The deck of cards yet to come out on full display. And the defense has been tested. They've showed how good their defense is, but yet to see anything regarding their offense.
Oh, well, Myth eSports, you have one. Can you get another? Or will VisionGaming, will they equalise? As Nish looks to do something about it, picks the 100 boost, but opts to leave it for Maki, who gets touch on that ball, but it won't be anything that will conclude in a goal, as Spears takes to the sidewall. Will find Maki once again, and well, this ball will find its way inching towards that blue net, and Johnson making the save will keep it out for the time being. 1:20 left on the clock, and Myth eSports, they're standing very strong, but for how much longer? Because this ball has got to go in their net at some point, surely.
Well, both of these teams are playing for so much in this grand final. They're playing for everything. They're playing for all the marbles, and you get first place, 300 Swiss francs to your name. Second place, half of that, 150. You want to win this matchup. You want to be crowned champion. But right now, VisionGaming, they're getting outdusted. They're getting outplayed. And so is that shot. But the follow-up's there from Johnson. And 2-0 has been granted to the side of Myth.
Yep, 2-0 and Myth eSports, well, I thought VisionGaming, they had it in the bag. But Myth eSports, they're showing to be great contenders for that title, as they take the first game 2-0 maybe, unless VisionGaming can do anything about it. Bayaz takes to the sky once more, but will be bumped away from the play, and Nish has to opt for a pass into the midfield, but Bayaz will intercept, and Maki will have to be the player to try and get this ball out of their half. It won't make its way out of the half for the time being, and 30 seconds left. Time is not in the favour of VisionGaming. They need one now, and Cell might be the first to do it, but no, Fears with the save.
Yaz now trying to see what he can cook up. Final 20 seconds. This is not the situation VisionGaming want to find themselves in. Maki runs this from the back corner, trying to go all the way. 50 going to be met there. But Johnson's winning it out, and he's also got that third goal on lock. Myth eSports, what a statement in the start of this grand final. The opening game has been a destruction from this side. And VisionGaming are going to be left with questions heading into game 2.
Yep, questions indeed. They're going to have to ask themselves, where did they go wrong? Because they've had a stellar performance so far, and well, this game has not been in their favour, as Myth eSports, they take the first game of the grand final 3-0.
They do, 3-0, a wondrous performance coming through from Myth eSports. And now we get to see what VisionGaming are going to do about it. Are they going to find a response? And you have to bet on the fact that they will. I mean, when you have got such talented, such storied players on that team, a player who has won this tournament twice before in the previous years, looking to try and continue that sort of legacy, Myth eSports, looking to play upset. But what a game that was from Myth eSports, especially from one player in the form of Johnson. Got all 3 goals, got that hat-trick, and also was doing wondrous sort of things for them on the defense as well. I mean, Myth eSports, I mean, against this VisionGaming roster, they have never, in the series they played the other day, had a 3-goal lead in their first meeting the other day. I mean, it's the second time in 5 games that they've managed to even score 3 goals, let alone have a 3-goal lead. So it shows how prepared, how ready this team is to step up in this grand final.
Yeah, Myth eSports, they're showing what they're capable of, and VisionGaming, they're gonna have to find a response if they want a chance at winning the grand final. But as we head into game number 2, VisionGaming have a lot of work to do, and are they going to be able to do it this time around, or will Myth eSports take the lead of the series by an even further lead? Well, only time will tell. Hodgins, take it away.
Bayaz already looking to start off strong. Oh my goodness, what a block from Nage, keeping that one away. And already Bayaz testing the limits of VisionGaming. But the limit has not been found just yet. Nage holds on. crucial save to keep that momentum sort of not going too negative just yet already at the start of game number 2, but Nation already pre-jumped that one, looking to take over here, looking to start strong on the attack of game number 2. For VisionGaming, Cell over to that corner. That's been met in the airs. Fears jumping for it. Naish also gonna play that back from the corner. And it's these sort of solo plays from across the pitch that are getting VisionGaming a lot of the space to work with so far in this game.
Most certainly. Well, here comes Demo from Johnson onto Mackie, and it might allow Myth Esports a chance on net, and it will. But Mackie makes his way back onto the pitch, and well, back in defence, but not for much longer as Fear scores the open goal, and well, what could have been a really good start for VisionGaming, unfortunately for them, turns into a nightmare as Fears is able to slot the first in.
The rotation's been a little bit disrupted there on the side of VisionGaming. And it all came from that air dribble setup from Johnson, setting things up for Myth, and then knocked down in the end by Fears. That duo's been leading the way all tournament for Myth Esports, but now the number 2 seed from Group A might just look to get their revenge on VisionGaming, but will they go down quietly? Mackie gonna look to try and rewrite what was not a great game from him last time. Cell's also looking to shoot his shot, and he's nailed it. Equalizer already found, and it only took 1 extra minute for them to find it.
Yep, only an extra minute, and that is what we needed to see, Hodge. We needed the response, and we have got it. So VisionGaming, they're not out of it just yet. That could be the tone setter for them this game. They could finally have their time to shine as Celt look to put another one on target. Celt not able to get that in the back of the net, but the progression is going to make its way even further into this blue half, but not for much longer. Johnson, 100 boost. Damn to Bayaz in the midfield, over to the backboard. Bayaz can't quite find it again, and instead the ball will have to find Fears on the halfway line, and well, we'll find Johnson once more, but he can't go for the double tap. We'll have to opt for Bayaz to try and score, but Celt is in the way, and well, Nish not able to do much there. Instead, he will have to make a play over to Mackie, which will go straight down in front of that blue net, but no one from VisionGaming able to score it.
Both of these teams got to remember that this game, this match is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a best of 7. You've got time to make mistakes. You've got time to mess up. It's how you bounce back and rewrite your game from those mistakes. So far, VisionGaming, they've been able to tie things up, but they're going to be looking for more. The 50 beat out by Bayaz. He's dancing around everyone. He's just got Celt left to beat, but Celt going to be holding on there. Johnson looking for a redirect. Is that on target? Maybe, but Naish deleted any fear of that going in. And VisionGaming going to hold on a little bit longer.
For how much longer? Because Myth Esports, we know that they are able to make an attack when they need to, but the fake comes out, and well, VisionGaming, they finally take the lead, and well, can they take a game off of Myth Esports? It looks like they can, but there is still 1 minute 56 on the clock. There is still so much time for Myth Esports, and they just have to play a little bit more on the offense.
Mackie, is he going to find this kickoff goal? No, Fia's ready, waiting for it. Boost going to be picked up there by Celt at the back corner. That's going to allow them to already take so much space on this attacking side. The demos are just opening up the map for them, and unfortunately, it's going to come to no avail as that ball launched already down the other side of the map. Bayaz looking to try and slot it, but not going to be able to get it that easily. And this lead still held on by VisionGaming. It's 2-1, 1 minute 30 left. They've got time to work with. And they've got to continue to hold on to that lead because you've got players like Fears, players like Bayaz, players like Johnson, who've all performed so well today. They're going to be hunting for any chance they can get.
But most certainly, this ball almost makes its way into the back of that blue net once again, but Bayaz has been chased down at the minute. Myth Esports, they have to do something, and well, maybe this is their chance, but Nish will put a quick stop to it, but Johnson with a shot over Celt, and well, there's the equaliser that Myth Esports needed. A minute left on the clock, and we have an equal game.
Johnson slams it home, and that's a tied game here. VisionGaming might just throw away their lead for the first time against Myth. As a sort of added stat here, with all the times, all the individual games that Myth have played against Vision Gaming so far this tournament. Every single match that Vision Gaming has led against Myth, they've been able to close it out and take the victory at the end of it. But that could change now, as the lead is challenged now by Myth eSports. They've managed to get it back to a tie game, but 34 seconds now before overtime.
Yep, 30 seconds left on the clock, or we will be facing overtime. Can one of these teams put it in the back of the net and stop us from getting there? Well, we can have to wait and see. 20 seconds on the clock, and Johnson looking to progress that further into the orange field. Beaz is there, it's kind of open. Celt is there just to keep that out for the time being, and well, Myth eSports are going to have a second goal here if they don't want to take us to overtime, but Celt has plenty of boost to work with. Beaz is going to intercept, and we're just going to let that ball drop, hit the floor, and well, we hit overtime.
Couldn't have asked for a closer grand final on this Saturday night, but overtime found here in game number 2. Vision Gaming, a match they really need to win here. Lose this, and you're 0-2 down in this grand final. 1 overtime so far between these two teams, and that's 1 win for Vision Gaming, but can they make that 2? Can they double up on the success they found in the group stage? And it was the last time it happened, game 4 in the group stage. They were able to close out. They were able to seal the deal on the series. 34 seconds elapsed now. And how long are we going to be going in this overtime? Because it feels like such a close game, but surely the ice has got to break at some point.
But will break, but who will it break by? Nish looking to make that goal for Vision Gaming. Beaz has to do something, and he will get a touch on the ball. It'll allow Johnson to try and get the 50 with Celt, but it won't go in his favour, as Beaz will take to the skies, won't find the touch he's looking for, but Fears will find the block in the midfield that allows Johnson to push further up, and Nish will be there to collect, but it's a bit of a tricky one for him. He's going to have to take it quite slow, and over Beaz will find himself bursting off against Fears, who will ultimately get the better of him as he looks for an opportunity for Myth eSports. But this could go either way. It's looking like it's going to go in the favour of Myth eSports if they keep this up. Johnson out into the midfield, won't find anyone from his team, but will find Nation Maki, who look to put it onto this net. The double commit from both those Myth eSport players might allow this goal to be ever so slightly open. Celt, down to Nish, maybe down to Maki. He's up, and it's in the back of the blue net. It's team play masterclass. It's Vision Gaming. They're able to clinch the win of round number 2.
They're able to do it. Maki slams it home. The defense kept guessing. And unfortunately, Maki just came out from behind the curtain, out from behind the shadows, and gave Vision Gaming that victory in game number 2. A tied series in this grand final as Vision Gaming even things out. And what a performance, by the way, from Nish. I'm looking at the leaderboard. 741 points, 6 saves. A brilliant third-man performance from him, getting his team over the line alongside the rest of his teammates. And on that Vision Gaming side, you know, you talked about incredible team play. Everyone shoots and everyone scores on Vision Gaming. Such an even sort of team, and they were able to get it over the edge. But now we step forward. Now we move towards our game number 3 as the teams line up on the Oasis here. Final time that we'll see this map today, and maybe one step closer for one of these teams. Or will be one step closer for one of these teams, but who's it going to be?
It will be the side of Vision Gaming, or will be Myth eSports? That's the age-old question. Who will take home the crown? And this game is going to be its own setter for the rest of the grand final. Who will be the first to score in this? It's looking like a good opportunity for Myth eSports as Beaz and Johnson, they're now having to rotate back out, but the ball will still be in the orange half, not for much longer. Over to Johnson. Plenty of boost to work with to get it over 1, but Nish will stand in his way. He's able to get the pinch on that side. We'll send the ball flying further into the blue half, but Fears will be able to counter-attack it, and well, like I've been saying, all Invitational, it's a bit like ping pong at the minute. Who's going to strike first, though? That is the age-old question.
Not too sure, but only one way to find the answer to that. Going to be dropped down. Johnson's going to just try and save this away. It was a very weird, risky sort of path across the net, but now they might have found the opening. No, it's defended well. Celt able to clear the lines over to Naish. Bit of a skirmish here on the Vision Gaming side of the field, but Naish playing that so well. Delaying the flip, setting it up for Celt. What a play there from the duo of Vision Gaming. Naish delaying it as long as he possibly could there to allow Celt to get in position and fire that shot home.
Yup, Vision Gaming, they will kick us off with the first, but is it going to be the first of many? Will we see a high-scoring game? Hopefully, Smith eSports, they look to put one in of their own. There's the response from Bayaz with the help of Johnson. There's the equalizer, a great kickoff for the blue team as well. What an absolute beautiful goal.
Yeah, just tipped it over the top of Naish. Able to find the top corner there. And a wonderful, wonderful goal there coming through from Myth Esports. So once again, tie things up. Once again, keep this series close. Ball popped up. Who's jumping for it? Celt on the back wall, looking to try and find the corner, but not quite able to. And neither's his teammate. And oh my goodness, Myth Esports escaped with their life. For how long? That's a question. But Fia's going to look to try and capitalise off of the equaliser that was found earlier on. We beat back, and Johnson going to look to fake it. Bayaz playing it up to the top ropes there, but Naish not going to be able to do much with it. Just going to be looking for some of those bumps at the back corner, looking to try and get that pass back over to Mackie, but he's been taken off the field. Celt looking to try and pass that over as well, but all this offense coming through Liquipedia, not to any avail, but now Johnson's got a say in the action.
Of Johnson adding his name to goal scorers this game as well. What a nice goal from him there, Mackie. Not able to really do much. You can't be bringing the ball in front of your own net because it's going to be punished. And Johnson, he will do such thing. And now we head into the fourth kickoff, I believe, if my math is correct, of this game. And, well, neither team will get the better of it. And Myth Esports looking to now make another attack on net. Bayaz is not able to quite find the connection that he wanted to, but the possession is still going to be there for the blue team. As Johnson takes to the sidewall, has a little bit of boost to work with, so will get the second touch, but won't get much from it. Fears over into the corner, playing it safe over into the hands of Bayaz, and they should be sitting comfortably to get it past him. Plenty of boost for him to work with as he gets it over Fears, and he's going to get it over Johnson, maybe no, Johnson with the save.
Bayaz gonna falter a little bit on that save. Thankfully, Johnson's there to bail him out. But how long is he going to get the opportunity to do that? Naish bumped off the play, and the whiff also coming through there by his teammate. 2 minutes remaining of this game for Vision Gaming to find something. Naish having to try to pull something out of the bag of tricks here. He wants to continue defending his title. Celt off of that sidewall, looking to try and dunk everyone. Mackie on the reception. It's even here in game 3, and Mackie fires right back.
Mackie with the equaliser, and Celt helped him get that, and well, what an equaliser that we have just seen in a game that is shaping up to be an absolute masterclass in this grand final. We're back to kick off. Once again, we're back to square one. Both of these teams, they're on an even playing field, but for how much longer? Who will prevail and who will ultimately set the tone of the rest of this grand final? Well, it's looking like it can be either one of these teams, but Vision Gaming is going to have to be forced to play a little bit of defense here as Bayaz is up looking for the double tap. Naish will send the ball flying high, and Celt could have got the redirect of a lifetime. Unfortunately, he will not connect that, but it doesn't mean that they're out of it just yet. Bayaz over into the side wall. Will opt to leave it, make his way around his own teammate, and well, it's not going to be in the back of the net right now as Naish makes a save.
Makes a save, going to keep it away. How long though? Bayaz just lurking on this back wall, looking to try and slot it. Naish, a brick wall here on the defense. Showed it in the last game with 6 saves and now continuing that. But Johnson got a shot. Mackie has to put it in reverse and get it cleared away. Looking to follow up his own touch, but not a lot of boost here on the side of Vision Gaming. Seems like they're just sort of being walked over here as they scramble around to try and get this defense on lock in the final sort of couple of seconds here, I guess you can say. 30 seconds remaining. Naish going to be put to the test once again. It's going to be followed up here by Mackie. He tackles Bayaz out the way. Lovely bump onto Johnson. But Fears is also into the mix. Naish getting this one cleared downfield. 10 seconds remaining. Are we in for some last second magic? Or is this going overtime once again? Infield, nobody's going to be there. Fears knocks it downfield. Naish should have possession, should have a free touch, but Fears read it perfectly. Downfield, that's open. Sent away though, and we should have overtime.
And we should do, but the ball is still up. Bayaz is now going to let it hit the floor. And, well, yes, we have overtime in game number 3. Both of these teams have played a great game of Rocket League so far. But one of them is going to have to prevail. And, well, Myth eSports kicking us off strong. But Bayaz won't be able to get a touch as Fears will have to take to the skies. And so will Maki over at that sidewall. Opts to use his flip early to get over one. But Bayaz is still there. Plenty of boost to work with, but it won't work out for him as he's forced to run back and play defense, and that pinch is going to go a little bit too far, a bit too much power on it from VisionGaming, but they're still in the danger zone for Myth eSports. Maybe not for much longer unless Maki has something to say about it, which he does. A touch over 1 and over 2, but Johnson, plenty of boost. Will try to do something with it. The bump comes out. Fears is there, but so is Maki.
Lovely beat there from Johnson to get past everyone, but there was no one there to follow it up, so just went to waste. So did that shot. So everyone was in sort of, I guess to put it in football terms, everyone was offside. No one was there to take the shot. And 1 minute elapsed in overtime so far. And now Naish, gonna have to keep this one out, is able to. We find ourselves still at this deadlock tie. Still a hero waiting to be found. Someone waiting to give their team the lead in this grand final. Who's it going to be? Naish cuts rotation, able to bail his team out, get it past the defender, but now it's all up to Celt to keep that one clear once more. 1 minute 30 elapsed, and still VisionGaming find themselves locked away in defense.
This could go either way at the minute, but VisionGaming, they need to do something. Fears and Maki, they're both going to miss that ball there, and well, it'll allow Naish to get a touch into the blue half of the field, but Johnson is quick to the ball and quick to the skies as he finds Maki once more. Celt's going to have to find that save, which he does, and well, the ball is still in this orange half as Johnson with a shot on target. It's going to hit the crossbar. Fears is there, but the shot placement isn't. Bayaz keeps the pressure up. He will opt to do it again, but Celt is going to stand in his way. 6 boost to his name, and well, he's going to get it past one, but not past the eyes of Johnson. Over to Naish. Not a lot of boost to work with, and well, the bump's going to come out. That's going to be absolutely detrimental for VisionGaming. It's off the crossbar. Johnson slots it in off of a mistake. A bump in the road for VisionGaming, and quite literally a bump for both of those two teammates there. And well, Myth eSports, they capitalise.
What a performance from Johnson. 12 goals have been scored this series, and he's had a say in 9 of them. What a performance from that man. 75% goal participation, and I mean, he's just been everywhere on the field for his squad. It really does feel like between these two teams, it's just a performance of like who can have the biggest pop-off plays, who can have the star player, you know, really showing their worth. And in this situation, Myth eSports get it over the line in a long overtime that we saw right there. But game number 4 getting started. As a reminder, timeouts are available and no one opting to take it just yet. So we are going to be going into game number 4 with one team who can put themselves on match point, except it's not the team who everyone probably expected it to be.
Yeah, not at all. Myth eSports, they are in the lead of the series, but for how much longer will they be able to hold on? Time will tell as we head into our next game, where VisionGaming, they find themselves on the back burner. They find themselves chasing the equalization in the series, but Myth eSports, they're not slowing down yet as we kick off.
Kicking off here, and already some early pressure for both sides. And VisionGaming's looking to continue on theirs in the moment. Over to the corner. No one getting a touch right now. Bayaz going to be looking to flick this over the top. Celt on the reception, looking to see if he can try and find a second touch. He's able to win the 50. And now Maki getting himself involved. Hit back out by Bayaz. Celt once again up for it. Rotations are perfect so far. Attempts the fake. Nature of the follow-up, but a lovely save from Johnson, keeping that one locked out. As VisionGaming just not allowed onto the play on the other side of things. Shot taken by Fears. Locked away, and sent packing by the defense. Myth eSports testing VisionGaming. VisionGaming testing Myth eSports. And so far, everyone's been passing with flying colours.
Well, a minute has gone off of the clock. We're still scoreless, but it's about to change sometime soon. Naish to the skies won't find a touch, but instead he tries to get passed down, instead won't find that touch either. So Mackie has had to do something. He's had to make a name for himself in this play, and it's not going to be a big name as Celt takes to the backboard, and two players from Myth eSports will opt to try and make the save, which they do, but I mean, the double commits, they should be getting punished at this late in the Invitational, but they keep themselves alive for the time being as Fears opts to pass to Bayaz. That's off of the backboard, but also off of Naish's car, and well, he's going to take to the floor for the 50 with Fears. Mackie is already up, but he's not going to hit the ball. Celts will, and opts to get the bump onto Johnson. Fears tries to get the save, but it'll be Johnson who just narrowly gets a touch on that ball there, coming back down from the ground. But it's a very tricky situation for Myth eSports to navigate, and somehow they keep themselves alive for the time being. A double commit once again, and well, they're still somehow alive.
Still scoreless here in game number 4. It's got to change at some point though. Who's going to be the one to do it? Which team is going to step up here? Celt is playing this, faking it over towards Naish, allowing him to continue guiding this ball as he tries to play for the bump and allow Mackie to come in for the shot, but some lovely defense keeps it out. On the side of Myth eSports, Fears dropping it down. Naish to the corner, looking for a touch. Maybe just looking for Mackie. Celt though, for rising up to the occasion, looking to touch that. Naish also, back wall, open net, dunk it down! VisionGaming taking the lead here in game number 4. And if that continues, then it will be a tied series in this grand final. But what do Myth eSports have to say about it? What can they cook up? And are they able to find a way back?
Are they able to? That is the question we need to be asking ourselves. Or will VisionGaming, will they equalise the series? Well, what a very close grand final we're having, and VisionGaming, they look like they're going to take us all the way, but only time is going to tell. There is a little bit of a bump from both of those two players there, but doesn't mean the ball is going to make its way out of the blue half. Fears not a lot of this to work with. Will have to send the ball high for Bayaz, and well, back down into the middle of the field and into the hands of Johnson, who looks to pick up the 100 boost and try to make an impactful demo. Won't find anyone and will have to opt to play defense once more. Fears hope to Johnson again. He looks to opt for an attacking opportunity, but Mackie over to Naish allows the ball to be flung into this blue half, and well, VisionGaming, they opt to put another one on the board sometime soon.
Both of these teams been teaming now for about 3 or so months, since the start of this calendar year pretty much. So much history though between this duo of Mackie and Celt. They brought Nation recently, but they've had some great performances in the past in these Swiss tournaments. Myth eSports looking to have one of their first great performances, their first major tournament wins in the Swiss scene. What's the case going to be for them? Are they going to be able to? Are they going to be able to find a response here first? And it's going to be all up to them to fight their way back in game number 4. And Fears actually coming in and playing as the sub for this roster. Just sort of subbing in. So if they were able to sort of get this win with a sub, I mean, like it would be even more wondrous.
Yeah, certainly. Even getting to the grand final with a sub, I mean, it's incredible work, and if they're able to go all the way, well, what does that say for the main roster that they've got cooking? As Johnson almost slides that one in the net, but there's 10 seconds left. Myth eSports, you need a response quickly as Fears looks to set that in its way, but Naish with the block with Johnson as well. Celt not able to make a touch, but it doesn't matter as Bayaz on the end of it. Celt looking to make it hit the floor as soon as possible, but Fears will keep it up. He keeps the ball alive, but not for much longer as VisionGaming take us to an equal series in the grand final.
where we will be seeing Game 6 today in our grand finals at least. How long are we gonna go? Well, we'll find out, and we'll get that answer soon. But I mean, it is just coming down to such fine margins between these two teams. VisionGaming, Myth Esports kept to a 1-goal game. It is the saying, defense wins championships, could not be more prevalent with these two teams. It is just who has the better defense, who makes the least mistakes, and who has players with pop-off potential. And that is where goals are being found. That is where win conditions are being sort of exploited here between these two. But game number 5 getting itself underway here very shortly. A little bit of a sort of context between these rosters as well. I mentioned Mackie and Celt have been teaming for a while. They've been teaming for over 3 years, and before they joined VisionGaming on FlyBack Academy as well. So, you know, in terms of team sort of communication and team, I guess, cohesion, they've pretty much got everything you need.
Yep, certainly, but will their experience of being a duo, will it be enough to take away the opponents of Myth Esports? Well, we head onto Urban Central for the last time tonight, and well, this is going to be a major turning point in the tournament, in the Invitational. One of these teams will find themselves on match points, and the other one will have to claw their way back into more games. Well, we kick off 30 seconds, and we're still scoreless, but it's bound to change soon.
Bound to be. Celt, they're looking to play that 50. Mackie just waiting for Naish to make contact and see what move Myth are going to be making here. It's a move, an aggressive one, and Johnson's trying to get on the end of it, but Celt, not a lot of boost, just trying to play a little bit of a disruptive play style. As VisionGaming scramble around to try and step up on the defense. Fia's bumped out the way. Mackie playing that 50. Celt's going to have to turn around and get those reactions certainly dialed up here, as Myth Esports already looking dangerous on the attack.
Myth Esports looking to make a name for themselves on Urban Central, but for how much longer? Well, they look to be in the swing of things as Bayaz tries to send it further into the orange goal. He won't be able to, as Celt will be there to stop him in his tracks. And well, Mackie and Johnson, a little bit of a 1v1 face-off in the skies. Johnson will get the better of him this time around, and the pass will make its way down to Bayaz, but Celt will be there to stop it progressing any further into their half. And there's a counter-attack opportunity for Naish, and unfortunately he's going to meet Bayaz there, who will stop that goal. And well, Johnson will try and make a name for himself as he passes down to Bayaz, and Fears is up, but so is Naish. The ball hits off of his car once more, but it's down in the hands of Bayaz, who opts to use the flick. It won't get over one of the VisionGaming players, but he will still be in possession. Here is Fears, makes a shot. It won't be on target.
Still scoreless, and so far this series has shown us that these teams don't make mistakes often, but when they do, it's catastrophic. When they do, they've got to fight tooth and nail to try and make up for it. And so far, VisionGaming, they've not been able to really get on the attack very much. I mean, some shots have been created, but nothing too nasty, nothing too sort of disruptive. On the other side of things, Myth have really been testing this defense of VisionGaming. Things have got to start turning around here. In terms of the overall lobby, the shooting percentages across everyone has been quite abysmal, to be honest, outside of Naish and Johnson, sorry. And I mean, they really have been the sort of 2-star players for these rosters, Naish, Johnson, and it's been about who can step up when they need to the most. But now, when the pressure matters most, who's going to find the connection? Johnson, a slicing salvo from the bonnet of his car, finds a pixel, granted a goal. Myth Esports in the lead.
What a way to kick us off this game. A nice little goal there from Johnson allows Myth Esports the lead, but for how much longer? As VisionGaming, they get the better of the kickoff, but Bayaz is there. Over into Fears, into the midfield, but not able to do much. Johnson can't do much either, and Baya as well will get the demo into Maki, but unfortunately won't be able to do much with it as Johnson is up looking for the pass down to anyone, but none of his team will be there to receive for the time being. Ball is going to hit off the backboard of the orange half, and well, it's looking very dangerous for VisionGaming at the moment as Bayaz opts to hit it once, hit it twice, undersells, can't quite get there, but Fears is going to miss, and Johnson has to race to that ball in midfield to stop that from progressing into their goal.
Rotation certainly in form here from Myth, even when things start to go bad, as long as the rotations are working out right and no one's making mistakes, they've got things under control. Nage drop it down, Maki looking for the shot, missed it, and Bayaz now trying to capitalise off his opponent's mistakes. They might have just been able to. Lovely touch, 1-2 passing play, but the shot's not being able to be sunk.
You know, the shot just was not there, unfortunately. 40 seconds left on the clock, and VisionGaming, they still have the chance to come back, but they have to do it quick. Nish takes to the skies, and Bayaz will be there to follow. Maki has to make the save, and he does, but now they have to make this a counter-attack, and Johnson's not going to let that happen as he takes to the skies once more, and will get the pass down to Fears. Maki will get the save, and it keeps VisionGaming alive for the time being, but Celt will not be as he's taken off of the field, and well, 10 seconds left. We need to see VisionGaming do something, and there's the shot, but it's not going to be in the back of the net. They need to keep this progression up. They need to score now, and well, Fears is going to keep it out, and well, the ball is not out of their half once yet. It's not hit the floor, but it might now, and Myth eSports, they find themselves on match point.
Well, the underdog team who came into this with definitely people watching them, but maybe no one thinking that they would fell. A team like VisionGaming, second seed from Group A, only second to VisionGaming, and now VisionGaming find themselves one game away from elimination. Myth eSports find themselves one game away from a VisionGaming Invitational title. VisionGaming, the host team, gotta fight to defend their title. Naish gotta fight to defend his two-time crown. Neo Tokyo is the battleground, and 5 minutes could decide it all.
From Neo Tokyo, we could end here, or we could be taken all the way, and well, we thought that this was going to be an interesting series, and it most certainly has been, but will VisionGaming keep us yapping for a little bit more, or will Myth eSports shut us up for the night? Well, it's time to see as we take to the skies in Neo Tokyo with Johnson kicking us off with what could have been a great start for Myth eSports, and now it's turned into a bit of an attack for VisionGaming as Nish tries to make the pass to Maki, won't be able to do so, and will have to opt to make a second touch in defense, and will quickly make a nice little touch on the ball there, but will opt to go for the 100 boost, allowing Bayas to strike, and well, Celt had to make the save there, but Johnson can't make it now, and well, Nish will kick us off with the first goal of the series, which was so unexpected.
That was an impeccable save from Celt on the defense. No boost, jumping, no force behind him, still makes the save, pass comes through, and Naish hammers it home on the other side. It's perfection on the side of VisionGaming. And what is Myth eSports' response to that perfection?
And they need a response if they want to close it out, but I mean, it's going to be hard when VisionGaming, they seem to be giving it their all. They still have fuel left, they have fire in the tank, but I mean, it's going to be a difficult one for them as that shot is going to make its way into the blue goal. And well, Myth eSports, who we thought were going to take it all very quickly here on Neo Tokyo, they're proving to have a very difficult game.
The balls to go for that one, could just rotate, could just let his teammate with half a tank of boost take the shot, but when you've angered the two-time defending champion, when you're looking to siege his title, he's going to be angry, he's going to want to try and fight for it, and that's exactly what he's just been able to do. Hammers it home again! Naish hat-trick hero for VisionGaming. And Myth eSports, flabbergasted, no one even above 50 points, and on the other side of things, Naish is nearing 500.
Naish, that man, the man who is fighting for the title once more, proves why he has it in the first place. The hat-trick when they need it most. VisionGaming are relying on this man right now, and well, with eSport, they find themselves in a very tricky situation where it's going to be hard for them to fight back on Neo Tokyo. 3 minutes left on the clock, so yet again, there's plenty of time, but are they going to be successful in finding the time to strike? Well, VisionGaming most certainly have been, and they're having to play a little bit of defense as Myth Esports are finding themselves in the swing of things, and there's the response that's going to kick us off for Myth Esports. Their comeback in Neo Tokyo. Johnson able to slot it past Selt, and well, what a way to kick off the redemption for Myth Esports.
That's what it's coming down to between these two teams. Two star players, Johnson and Naish. Two highest points per game players in the tournament. And the two players that can make the biggest difference here. Naish getting a save, coming down from the heavens to keep that one out. Keep it locked away from the clutches of this Myth Esports side. They want game 7. They want to call for it. Fears, he wants to try and get a second goal here and say that it's not done quite yet for this Myth Esports side. And I think that is the big storyline here. You know, if you're this VisionGaming side, you can't get complacent. It's not over yet. There's still 2.5 minutes left, and Bayaz can still drop this down for Johnson, who's going to take the shot, but blocked out as everyone's dancing around on the defense. And I mean, Myth Esports look like they've got VisionGaming as puppets on strings.
Yeah, but Naish with a chance to strike to get another one on the board for VisionGaming. It's not going to happen as well. Almost a real one in the corner, and well, when this is on the line, I'm not sure if teams would have actually stuck to the real one, but hey ho, that's for another day, as Bayaz is gonna set it into the back of that net, and well, there we go. There is another response for Myth Esports. They're clawing back, and they're clawing back at a very good time. There's 2 minutes still on the clock. They have plenty of time to equalise, and even more time to take the lead.
It really is all up for grabs here. Under the big lights, under the sort of neon city. It's all up to these fine margins between these two teams. Fears, what a catch, has the flip, uses it. Oh my goodness, the double from Fears ties things up. And when you need someone to step up, that's exactly the performance you're looking for. Myth Esports level things up here. Come back from the dead of game number 6. And now it's anyone's game here.
It's anyone's game, and well, we were talking about Johnson all night, but Fears is able to strike, but so is Selt, and what was a great redemption from Myth Esports has quickly turned into VisionGaming being back in the lead of things, and well, Myth Esports, they're gonna have to work for that equalization again. They're gonna have to put in just as much work, but in even less time. So a minute 30 on the clock, and they still have a long way to go, but Johnson is going to be the one to kick us off. Not a lot of boost to work with. We'll have to opt for a pass him to a teammate, but we'll pass it into the hands of Maki, and well, Bayaz looking for Johnson, won't quite find him, and VisionGaming, they're looking like they're having the time of their life at the minute. They just need to hold on. Selt to the backboard. Bayaz is going to make a save, but Johnson has to quickly make one as well, and this ball's going to find its way into the orange net. Maybe no Naish with a save.
I love that play from Naish. Jumped, sort of baited his opponent into reacting, making them think he was jumping for it, pre-jumping it, but no, he cancelled it and repositioned, making sure that this Myth Esports defense is kept guessing a little bit. And now 45 seconds stands from us in a Champions Field showdown, a game 7. And that's what this entire tournament has been brewing for, between not just both of these teams, but all the teams in the tournament. It's been such a close affair. And now the shot, the equaliser, where's that come from? Out of the fire and the flames, out of the shadows. Bayaz over, Naish gets a touch, Selt, he was trying to pass that back to his teammate, but the cut on the rotation. What a goal!
Equalizer. Oh, 28 seconds left, and well, Neo Tokyo, we might have a very important overtime, but are we going to get to that as well? Johnson gonna pass them to Fears, will make the connection, but there will be a cut in that rotation from VisionGaming, who look to bring themselves in the lead once more as the clock strikes 10 seconds left. And, well, Johnson will try to strike with a demo. He won't quite find it, and Celt will find flip reset, won't be able to use it, and the ball is still up in the air. It's anyone's gained, but it looks like VisionGaming might strike if Johnson doesn't touch it, and he will, but the ball will touch the ground, and we're in overtime.
Most important goal of the tournament is about to be scored here in Game 6. On one side, tournament over, championship claimed, 2-time dethroned. On the other side, the battle continues, it rages on. But who is going to be the one to rewrite new legacies, break records here in the Swiss scene? Mackie gonna take that into his own hands, but no, he's been taken off the field. Naish has got to react to this from Fears, and Fears has kept everyone guessing. Celt taking this ball up, not a lot of boost, playing for that 50, dropping it down. Mackie also getting involved on the play, and Naish has now got the chance to take this into his own hands, looking to try and play off of Johnson's touch, but Johnson gonna read that. 1 minute into overtime already, and it's looking as even as ever.
As even as ever, one of his teams is going to have to strike, but who will it be? Well, Celt takes to the skies with not a lot of boost to his name, but Mackie will take to the floor, and Beyaz will take that save very nicely, and will now take to the skies, and will find Naish in his path, and Celt will find the ball, will find the shot, but Fears will find a save, and Smith eSport, they're playing defense beautifully. They want to close this out early, but VisionGaming, they're not having any of it. They want to win for the first time in their own Invitational. They want Naish to become a 3rd-time champion, and he might. That's going to help the post, and back into Naish's hands, back into the net, and, well, a very high-scoring game of 4-5 is going to land in the hands of VisionGaming, and we will see the last game on Champions Field.
The Puppet Master Naish, 1,200 point game. What a wondrous performance from the British player, and what absolute cinema here in the grand finals of the VisionGaming Invitational. Disgusting performance from VisionGaming, and it grants themselves a game number 7. One game between these two teams, 5 minutes before we crown a champion. Liquipedia. Who is it going to be? So many questions to answer. So much has built up to this. So many storylines throughout today's action. But at the end of the day, only one team, only 3 players can stand atop the Swiss world. Who's it going to be? VisionGaming look to crown themselves champions of their own tournament, but Myth eSports stand in the way. It's a 3-time for Naish, or it's a 1st time for Myth eSports. Let's get started on Champions Field.
Champions Field, where all games and tournaments are won if they make it here, and, well, both teams, they've put up a great performance, but they still have 5 minutes of work to do, and, well, VisionGaming, they're kicking us off strong with a lot of possession from Naish, the man, the myth, the legend, the 3-time champion, maybe, if he can keep this up, and, well, VisionGaming, we thought they were out of this yet, and Naish is proving us wrong.
Naish has come alive here, it seems. VisionGaming 1-0 up. He was angry. He took out his revenge in the last match, and now he's just looking to style on him. But what have this Myth eSports roster got to say about it?
What have they got to say? Well, they're going to have to say something quick. There's 4 minutes 20 on the clock. Yes, there's time, but they've got to use it efficiently, and, well, that's exactly what they're doing now. Beyaz off to Johnson in the corner, but Naish will stand tall in his way. Fears can't quite make the touch, but yet Beyaz will be able to, and, well, Naish with another shot, and it's in. Oh, Mackie, beautifully done there, and, well, VisionGaming, they're not slowing down.
Brilliant fake from Celt. Mackie also offer the pass, offer the sidewall. The duo of 3 years, showing why they deserve to win They deserve to bring Vision Gaming a championship here in the Swiss world. But Mackie off of the reset, looking to get it over the top. We saw how quickly that 3-goal lead crumbled in the last game. It's not something Vision Gaming want to repeat. It's not something they want to see again. And Myth eSports have got to fight for that now. They've got to battle their way back from this 2-goal deficit. Mackie looking to put it top corner, not quite able to connect, just clatters off of that crossbar. And Naish, he went to game 7 against the opponent in the last Invitational. The last time he won, he came out successful that time. Looking like it's going to be a similar sort of affair again. But 3 minutes still stands between him and the title.
3 minutes, and it's not an awful lot of time for Myth eSports to do something, but they might be getting the hang of it now as Fears is going to pick up that 100 boost. We'll have to get it over Mackie, and he won't. The ball's going to work its way in front of the blue net, and Celt is going to take full advantage of that, but Fears with the save will keep Myth eSports alive just by the skin of their teeth. He has to get a touch on it, and he will. Damn to be as down in front of the goal, and Nation Celt, they're going to make a little bit of a double commit, but Nation's still on the end of the ball, and well, Fears is as well, but no boost to work with. He's going to have to opt to do something else. Johnson over into the hands of Beyaz, and well, it's over into the hands of Fears. Maybe Myth eSports starting to make a bit of a comeback, but as soon as they get any sort of attack, Vision Gaming, they're on the ends of it as Celt looks to score another in this grand final. He won't be able to this time, but that doesn't mean that he won't be able to at all. Fears with a shot won't find its way in.
Johnson going to play for the collection here, being bumped off of the play, still able to get a touch, although Nation's waiting for this one. Who's going to challenge? No one. They're just giving him space, they're giving him time, they're giving Vision Gaming everything they want, and it might just work out for them, but no, it's cleared away. Beyaz getting that touch off of the back wall. Johnson, a lovely read there to try and recollect his thoughts and maybe buy a little bit more time here for Myth eSports to play for these goals. Johnson continuing the pressure, looking for the bump on Naish. Naish evading capture here, and Fears touch back out. 50 in this Vision Gaming side of the field. Johnson has got a little bit of boost to work with, got that reset, but Fears is now going to be the one who is playing back to, and Celt, chance, redirect back over to the back corner. Everyone kept guessing, and that shot still rattling everything but the back of the net. An immense amount of pressure coming from Vision Gaming. Still held at a 2-goal lead, but 1 minute now stands between them and the title.
1 minute remaining on the clock, and there's 2 goals needed for Myth eSports if they want to even equalise, if they want to bring us to overtime, and it's a heck of a lot to ask when you're playing a team like Vision Gaming, who finally have got the swing of things. Up into the hands of Fears. Beyaz looks to pre-jump that, and he will, but Celt will be in his way, and well, this ball will find itself in the hands of Fears once more, and Johnson can't quite make a touch, but Beyaz can. 30 seconds left. Myth eSports have to do something. They have to score soon, and it has to be now. Fears 100 boost. Not going to be able to do much apart from get this over Naish, which is a start. It will get its way over Mackie, and maybe the redemption is here. Beyaz, soft touch down to Johnson, it's in! And the game brings us to a 1-goal deficit in the final.
Well, hasn't that just blown the game state wide open? Everyone's there, and yet still Johnson is able to slot it home, find that needle in the haystack needed from Myth eSports, but that timer has got no time left. Any goal now would certainly be pretty much an 150 Swiss francs goal, potentially. And at the death, Johnson finds something, finds anything. 5 seconds away from an overtime. This is the most absolute cinema grand final I have ever witnessed in Rocket League.
You could not have wrote this better. There's less than 5 seconds on the clock, and well, will this hit the ground? Will this go to overtime? It will. Golden goal territory in the grand final. Who will walk away victorious? Who will walk away with that grand prize? And oh my god, it will be Vision Gaming! Vision Gaming will take the grand final. They will take the crown with a belter of a kickoff for them. They will find themselves victorious in their own invitational. Niche, a third-time champion, and well, what a performance from the host organization of the invitational.
Well, Vision Gaming, they saw gold, they saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and all at the end of the day it was one singular goal that separated the win from the loss. Vision Gaming are your champions here of the Vision Gaming Invitational number 5, winning their home tournament, and Naish becomes the 3-time of the Vision Gaming Invitational. What a grand final, what a storyline, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what I've just witnessed, I'm unsure, but that was absolute cinema. That was the best grand final I have ever casted, ever watched in general, to be honest with you. And the Swiss scene seems to always deliver with these sorts of things. We'll break. We'll go to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll hopefully have an interview with Vision Gaming. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and hopefully we'll get a word with your champions. Welcome back, everybody, to the Vision Gaming Invitational number 5, and well, we have someone from the winning team here for an interview. It's Mackie from Vision Gaming. Mackie, congratulations on the victory here in the Vision Gaming Invitational. And you know, I just want to say, first of all, how does it feel to I know we talked before, win your sort of first major Swiss tournament here alongside your longtime duo self?
Thank you first for the congratulations, but I think it's a nice experience, to be honest. In the last time, I think, when we played TCS together, we went second. And in Awakened League last spring, we went third, so it's nice to win finally. And yeah.
That's great. I'll hand it over to you, Liquipedia, and we'll just sort of go back and forth a bit.
Yeah, a bit of ping pong. Well, first of all, yes, also a big congratulations, and well, all the way to Champions Field. It's definitely not easy, but what was like going through your mind as soon as like you secured Champions Field?
Just relief, I think. I was just happy that we had that, yeah, kind of nice masterclass at Game 6, to be honest. And it was just relief all over as we went to Champions Field.
It was going to say, we were sort of like questioning at times. It was like a bit of a content game. You guys were like so confident. You're like, yeah, we'll just go 3-0 up and then like have some goals, you know, we'll still get it done. But no, I think overall you guys had such a sort of dominant run through the tournament, not losing a single series overall, and you know, when it comes to the impact across your team, there was definitely certain players who made an impact, right? I mean, there was obviously all of you on the team, but one player in particular for me sort of stood out and really was putting up like crazy performances in a lot of those games. The newest pickup for the team, Naish. I mean, you guys have been teaming for what, like 3 or so months now here in the Swiss leagues, and you know, just maybe talk about some of the impacts that Naish brings to the team.
Yeah, we started teaming with him for Fraxter League, the Dach League. I think it was quite two months ago. And he always brings just good vibes, says what we can do. I think before Game 6 he just says full confident, and we went full confident. So it really helped much. Yeah, also gameplay wise, very strong player.
Yeah, I mean, 1,200 points in Game 6 is nothing to scoff at.
Surely.
Yeah, it's a wonderful performance all around.
Definitely, it was a great performance to watch. And well, yesterday we saw you guys play with eSports, and well, it was pretty much in your hands, right? So today, seeing them in the Grand Final, we kind of thought it was going to be the same story, and well, we were treated to something a little bit different. But how did you guys feel, obviously, yesterday, being very confident with Myth eSports, and then now facing them in the Grand Final? Was it going to be an easy landslide, or what was your process going into it?
I think before the tournament I couldn't really know how good they are because I haven't really played much against them. After yesterday I was pretty confident because I don't know, first time playing them. And today I was kind of surprised how good they were playing. I also saw from Kiever in the chat that he says Smith gonna win it all. So I don't know. I was like, okay, are they peaking today?
Completely different
yeah.
team.
Well, speaking of sort of other teams in the tournament, you know, like you mentioned before, the tournament was difficult to sort of gauge the skill level of some of the teams, but was there a team necessarily, I mean, obviously you guys were confident, but in this sort of situation in a grand final setting, was there a team who you expected to face more than others? Like, was there a team who you thought, oh, you know, we should be playing these guys no matter what here in the grand finals, unless we get them in semis, obviously. Like, this team is just like, this team should be our sort of only competition.
I mean, I think we all first thought that Mind Sanity was gonna play in the grand finals, but I mean, after that performance from Myth, I can't say anything else. They absolutely deserve that spot.
Yeah, definitely. They were playing brilliant. And I mean, well, you now have that big grand prize. So, I mean, we're not going to pry, but what are you going to spend it on? Is it going to be a nice little a treat for you? I mean, you guys definitely deserve it. Is it going to be a nice treat, or are you going to be financially responsible? Are you going to save it away?
We're gonna see. I don't know yet.
That's completely fair, Will. It's definitely well deserved. I ask everyone on an interview what they plan to do with it, but it's always the same question. But yeah, it's well deserved.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you guys had an incredible run to get there, taking down everyone who you faced. And, you know, in terms of, I guess, sort of which other team you played against, because you obviously didn't play against My Insanity, you didn't get the chance to. But out of the teams you played against, who really, apart from Myth, gave you sort of the biggest challenge? Because obviously they pushed you guys the furthest, but when we sort of look at some of the other teams who participated in the tournament, maybe shining a light on some of them, which was maybe one of the other teams in the event who sort of caught you off guard a bit, surprised you, and made you go, oh, these guys are actually pretty good?
I think Dive was playing really good. I think we were struggling a bit more yesterday. We had close games yesterday actually. It was a 3-1 for us, I think. And also I think Predators was playing really good. Didn't expect them to surprise me that much, to be honest. Shout out Rifles.
Yeah, there was definitely so many surprises. I mean, like you mentioned, that Mind Sanity game. Oh, the biggest upset of the tournament, definitely. But going off of Hodge's question, in that grand final, because for us, at least for myself, Johnson was probably the MVP for Myth eSports. Was there any player in particular that like you looked out for on the field? Who was causing you the most disruption?
Not really. They were all playing really good. I think I just looked a bit more for Bayas because that's the only name I know before. But yeah, not really.
Well, yeah, I think sort of overall it was a great showing, and you guys proved throughout the tournament that didn't matter who you were playing against, you would destroy them, you know, regardless. And in the end, we're able to bring home Vision Gaming's home tournament as the home team and win the Invitational. So I just want to say, but before I let you go, have you got any sort of shout outs you want to give? Any sort of thanks to anyone? The floor is yours. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I guess thanks to my teammates that aren't in the interview right now. But it's not me that I won it alone, it's my team. So shout out to them.
Gotta shout out the team, gotta shout out the boys. They played incredibly well, and so did yourself as well. Absolutely incredible. Vision Gaming are your champions of the Vision Gaming Invitational number 5. And, well, Nash becomes the 3-time as well in the tournament, 3 times in a row for that man. But yeah, thank you very much, Mackie, for joining us here on the interview. It's been a pleasure to have you, and I wish you good luck in future tournaments.
Thank you.
All right, see you later. Thank you very much. And well, it's time for us to sort of close the show out now. Liquipedia, I mean, how do you even recap? How do you even sort of put into words what we've just watched today? That was an incredible grand final, an incredible bracket day. I just want to get a sort of quick word of what was the best play of not just today, but also the entire tournament.
So many plays, right? There's been absolutely so many that have been phenomenal. There's definitely like there's been a best match, which we didn't get to see on stream, but the Mind Sanity.
Oh, we did.
BS+.
It was game 6 of the grand finals. I'll tell you that.
Final, yeah. Well, in my opinion, Mind Sanity being the upset, that's probably one of the most interesting parts of the tournament. Yes, we didn't get to see it, but I mean, we saw the aftermath, and well, that was probably my most noticeable part of the tournament. But there was definitely some killer plays. That redirect coming from Serac as well, that was probably one of my highlights of the day. But Hodge, you most certainly will have some of your own, so take the floor.
I mean, for me, it's got to be that Game 6 was chaos in the grand finals there between VisionGaming and Myth. It was almost a 3-goal lead that was thrown away to deny a Game 7, and I think that would have been a statement from Myth. It all came down to 1 goal, and that was how close that grand final was. It was such an absolute cinema grand final that I would feel bad to not give it to that moment. But, you know, you mentioned BS+COMPETITION and their sort of upset over my insanity. We did actually see a tweet coming through from Slumpy, I believe, just sort of saying, once again, thank you to VisionGaming for inviting them to the tournament, but also how much they thought they sort of surprised themselves and everyone else with how they played today against teams who, you know, were ranked higher above them, who are higher ranks than them, and really sort of showing up and showing out in the tournament. So massive congratulations to them, and I'm really happy that they're able to sort of surprise themselves and have such a great performance in the event. And a massive thank you to them and all the other teams in the bracket who joined us. But yeah, we've sort of talked about individual moments, great moments, but if we've got to crown an MVP, I think let's not sort of beat around the bush here. There's only one player I think we're both thinking of, and that is Naish. I mean, just nothing more needs to be said. If you want to see how Naish became MVP, undoubtedly, go back and watch that game number 6. 1,200 points dropped in that game. I mean, destructive performance, and yeah, very deserving winners, a very deserving 3-time winner of the tournament. We've talked about everything we need to talk about pretty much. We've talked about individual brilliance, we've talked about MVPs, we have talked to the players on the teams themselves. But I think, is that everything? Or I always feel like I'm missing something here, and I don't want to like close things out. But yeah, we've gone over pretty much everything that we need to. So I think from me, I just want to say a massive thank you to VisionGaming for having us on here, giving us the sort of chance to cover all this all weekend for you guys, and not just for the Rocket League for me, but also for the Apex as well. Really enjoyed that earlier on. It's been a chaotic weekend, but it's been absolutely great, and a massive thank you to Kasalian behind the scenes, and everyone, Fragman, and as well Remarage for also doing all the graphic stuff as well. So I guess that's also, you know, everything I've got on my end. You know, if you want to sort of throw anything else into that, feel free to. But yeah, that's just a massive thanks to everyone at VisionGaming.
Yeah, no, massive thanks definitely is deserved to everyone behind the scenes, to all the players, all the teams that played in the Invitational, and a big thanks to not only myself, but to Hodge as well, who was able to provide a great cast for this Invitational. So thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's been wonderful, and I think that's kind of all from me. So it's been a great Invitational.
It has. It's been a great Invitational. Hopefully we get to do it one more time, or many more times throughout the coming years as VisionGaming keep on running these LANs. It's a pleasure to be part of the VisionGaming LAN 2025, and well, yes, just help tell some of the stories of these players. But yeah, that's been it from us here over on the Rocket League side. That's been it for this incredible, impeccable Saturday of chaos, and hopefully we will be back on your screens at some point soon. But until then, hope everyone has a great rest of their night, and we'll see you hopefully very soon.